Williams. Lined out to the gap, right center field, this one's down. Khalil scores. Kennelly in the third, he gets the stop sign in Australia for the second straight night. Strikes first. Last time, this one rolls it short, stopped by Khalil, slings to second, got him, what a play. First one. Jumps on the first pitch and drives it deep to left. Kim is back, this one's gone! We had a heck of a year with Canberra really well. Really have for six. It's sharply fair inside the chalk and rolling towards the corner. Williams scores, Paul right behind him. The relay will not be in time. Pitch. Shot out to center with some authority. Lee is back. Wynn grabbing it, track and wall. Reaches up, and he makes the catch. Oh my goodness. Start came against the Dominican Republic. That was Australia's only win. This one driven deep out to center. Ray is back. This one's gone.
Wow, so much for my analysis.
Okay. Lined out to the gap, right center field, and the 18-year-old strikes. Swan racing into third. He's going to get the wave. Here's the relay from Stevens on a hop, not in time. Hanwha takes so quickly done, and he gets to go back to the dugout and celebrate. Look at that scene in there. Wow. And secures Hanwha its first win of 2025.
Hanwha Eagles jersey ready to go as we get set for Game 3 of the International Baseball Showdown here at Melbourne Ballpark. I'm Ed Wyatt. Alongside me is Max Tanzer, voice of the Melbourne Aces, and I guess voice of the Hanwha Eagles and Team Australia. And Max, great weekend of baseball, and even though these are exhibition games, we've got ourselves a decider.
No doubt about that, and after a tight one yesterday, a 6-5 win for Hanwha, come from behind in the 7th and 9th innings. Should be a good one here today. In the ABL, we don't get too many rubber matches just because of those 4-game series, so it should be a fun one here today. Well, the story yesterday was the youth. We saw all 3 of their first 3-round draft picks come up big in yesterday's game, but that doesn't mean that the more experienced guys are also getting their work in here this week. The captain of the Hanwha Eagles, Che An-sung, spoke with us earlier this week on what his spring training experience in Melbourne for the second consecutive year has been like. How have you been enjoying your second spring training in Australia so far?
일단 작년에서 와서 너무 만족했고.
Obviously, last year we were totally satisfied with all the training and everything. That you guys have great facilities and great weather, so I'm looking forward to see you next season. Yeah.
And then this is your first spring training with manager Kim Kyung-moon as well. Obviously, he took over the team in the middle of the season last year, but has anything been different? What's it been like in his first spring training?
뭐 일단 마무리 캠프도 하고.
Obviously, our manager Kim joined in the middle of season last year. He been working with Mr. Kim last year through fall camp, and also he always emphasizing to the player that team play, always teamwork. So we really like what he been emphasizing to us.
You mentioned that's his message. You as the captain of this team as well. What's been your message to your teammates so far this year?
일단 우리
as a captain, I always emphasizing to our teammates that team play. Whenever we're doing team play work, just focus, just play like in a real game situation. Always focus. So that's my message, main message to our teammates. Yeah.
하자 이렇게 얘기를 하고 있습니다.
So you mentioned the fans a lot. Obviously, the Eagles fans are known for being one of the most passionate in the KBO. What do they mean to you? And just to see them come down to Australia even last year, what does the passion that they have mean to you guys?
Obviously, Hanwha Eagles fan is amazing. Whether we're playing good or bad, they always keep standing up, cheering for us until the game's over. So obviously, thank you for all the support to the Eagles fan, and then hopefully we have a good finish the season with a great season.
Good stuff, Max. Great to hear from the captain of the Hanwha Eagles, and it would be remiss of us if we didn't speak with the captain of Team Australia, talking, of course, about ABL legend superstar Tim Kennelly.
So here's Kennelly. Grounded out to short his first time, and this time he cranks it deep out to left. Goodbye! Tim Kennelly, who launched 1 in the ABL season, now has 3, including the postseason and now the International Baseball Showdown. 1-0 Australia.
Going back to Friday night, you hit the home run to get you guys on the board. Coming off of that 2-homer game in the ABLCS game as well. I mean, where's this power stroke come from the last couple weeks for you?
I don't know. I think I just hit it throughout the season, just saved it for the end of the season. I just obviously had a bit of a rough year and sort of found some things late in the season and sort of continued that into the finals and back here.
And then you're one of the veterans on this Team Australia club. A little bit of a different look roster, a lot of young guys getting their first opportunity to play for the senior national team. What's it been like working with them? Have you been more in a mentor role as well? Have you been kind of leading the way for them?
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see some fresh faces in here and they bring the energy and the enthusiasm. So it's good to be around and it's good to be able to help out the young guys as much as I can and try and give them as much advice as they're looking to get.
And you've traveled all over the world wearing the green and gold. Now you get to do so here. What's it mean to play in front of the home Australia fans on Australia turf?
Yeah, it's always good to play, put the uniform on. It's always good to play overseas, but yeah, it's great to play in Australia in front of some home fans and home crowd and sort of give back to the crowd that have been watching us on TV for so many years.
And you've achieved so much this year, your 500th ABL hit just a couple months ago, all-time leader in so many categories, you're a mainstay on this team. What does it mean for you to be such a staple for Australian baseball?
For me, it's just, I'm just happy to be a part of this team and try and help this team win and go away to these tournaments and just try and contribute and do what I can to try and help this ball team, win and get through, to the semi-finals in these championship tournaments.
Always good to see the Team Australia guys. We don't get to see them here in Melbourne that often, so really appreciate them taking their time to talk with us.
Definitely. It's been a good showing from them so far. Again, Game 3 of the International Baseball Showdown here in 2025. It's the KBO's Hanwha Eagles and the Australian national team. Third game, day baseball, coming up right after this. Well, what a sight that is. Some blue skies and sunshine here on this Sunday afternoon as we get ready for matinee baseball, the series finale for the 2025 International Baseball Showdown, the KBO's Hanwha Eagles and the Australian national team. Max Tanzer here, joined alongside Ed White, and Ed, Team Australia, picked up a 4-0 win, or a 5-0 win in 4 innings on Friday night after rain cut that one short, and then a 6-5 win for the Eagles last night. So winner takes all. Again, it was the Eagles who swept Team Australia last year in 2 games, but the Aussies have been playing incredibly tight over the last couple nights, as you see their team and lineup getting announced as we speak. Taking a look at the temperatures, 12 degrees Celsius, winds at 26 kilometers per hour. How about that? We're not going to try and jinx ourselves here, but a big old donut in the rain category, 0%. So let's hope that remains. We again played through some rain yesterday, too.
We have. Good to be back, Max, for the finale. This is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. Nice work there from the Sportscast editor saying, hopefully. He knows your predictions of the weather have been a little bit shaky. Not that anyone is here in Melbourne. And as we mentioned, the grounds crew have done a phenomenal job getting this ballpark ready to go. It should be a great sunny afternoon on a Sunday.
Let's take a look at that Australian starting lineup as you see them up the first base line. Leading things off in right field, it's the captain. We spoke to him in the pregame show, Tim Kennelly, after his home run on Friday night. Was hitless yesterday, but again a mainstay at 37 years old. Alex Hall, the DH, bats second. Rickson Wingrove, the first baseman, hits third. Robbie Perkins back behind the plate cleans things up. Will Riley at second bats fifth. Ulrich Boyorski in center seventh. Riley Knight in left bats seventh. George Khalil eighth at third base. And Liam Spence rounds out the 9. At shortstop, Lachlan Wells on the mound.
for Australia. On the other side, you could see the Hanwha Eagles getting their starting lineup announced. Let's take a look at who they'll be starting today, announced by manager Kim Kyung-moon. Sim Woo-jun at shortstop, as he has started the last 2 games. A really similar look at for the last couple of nights. Lee Won-seok in center field, who made that sparkling grab, slamming up against the wall to take away extra bases from Briley Knight. Moon Hyun Bean at third base hits third. Kwon Kwang Bean at first base cleans things up. Lee Jin Young in left field bats fifth. In Ho Choi will get the start after a pinch hit home run last night. That would tie the game at 5-5 in the 7th. Im Jung Chan in right field bats 7th. Park Sung-un, who caught all 9 innings yesterday, bats 8th. Hwang Young-mook at second base bats 9th. And another youngster, Lee Song-kyu, the right-hander, on the mound for Hanwha. And again, we saw a lot of substitutions yesterday. A reminder, this is a spring training game for the Hanwha Eagles, so they're going to try and get all of their guys in, get some of the youngsters in particularly.
Yeah, that's right. We have discussed this a lot, the opportunity for them to assess some of their younger players, or fringe players, if you will, because the lineup, the starting guys are pretty much resting for the moment. They'll get their work in when they go to Okinawa and play some of those preseason games against other KBO teams.
Well, as you can see, it's a beautiful day for baseball. We're going to step aside for both the Australian and Korea national anthems.
Get a look at the players from both sides now, heading back to their respective dugouts. Should mention Hanwha are the home team tonight. They've alternated. They were the home team Friday. Team Australia was the home team yesterday. Hanwha gets returned the favor today.
That's right. The road team has won every game so far, if you can consider one home or road.
Travel has really not affected them.
Well, there's another look at the Team Australia starting lineup with Lachlan Wells on your screen on the left. We saw his brother Alex Wells toss 4 innings of shutout baseball with 8 strikeouts in Game 1 on Friday night before the rain stopped it. Lachlan getting the start today, who spent the previous regular season in the Philadelphia Phillies organization, reached Double-A Reading, and was really good for the Adelaide Giants as well this year on the Australian side of things. 10 starts, a 3.17 earned run average. And so those Wells brothers, I mean, doesn't get much better than that for the Team Australia roster. On the other side, there's a look at Lee Sung-kyu, a former 7th-round pick in the 2015 draft, a long career with the LG Twins, but again, trying to find some footing with the Hanwha Eagles, a potential starting option for them as well, Ed.
Yeah, he was 1-4 last year, 5.63 ERA, which, is nothing special, but he does have a fastball that they say can hit 95 miles per hour, so it'll be interesting to see. A little older than the guys we've seen start the past 2 games, Max. A couple of 18-year-olds, essentially. He's 28, so it'll be interesting to see if he's on the same sort of pitch count or inning count that the 2 youngsters were on.
That's right. We've seen both of them get stretched out to about 2 or 3 innings. Yesterday, for the Eagles, they started Kwon Min-kyu, their 2nd-round draft pick in the most recent rendition of the draft.
He was something, wasn't he?
Wasn't he? He was fantastic, particularly over his first couple of innings. Didn't really allow a base runner and picked up 4 strikeouts on top of that. Also saw Uju Jung, their 2nd overall pick in the draft, 1st-rounder. And he, while giving up a couple of walks and struggling a tad, the stuff looked really good. So the future really bright for this Hanwha Eagles team that is embracing their future. New jerseys, new stadium, and a new year here in 2025, fresh off of their first win, albeit a spring training matchup. But a win's a win, right? Well, Team Australia looking to come out of this one with the International Baseball Showdown Series win again. Pride on the line for them as well. Here's Tim Kennelly to lead things off. First pitch is taken inside ball 1, and we are underway.
Great collection of fans here. I was out and about talking to some people, and a couple down from Brisbane enjoying the game. Obviously a lot of Korean fans here, Hanwha fans and KBO fans as well. Saw SSG Landers jersey down there. So a lot of the other teams represented here too. Saw Twins jersey as well.
And the KT Wiz will be here next Friday.
Yes.
Ed will have the call on that one on Aces TV, of course, as well. And
what am I going to do without you, Max?
I don't know. I'll be tuning in from the States at 3 a.m. or so in the middle of the night.
You're like that guy with that giant backpack, that meme carrying this broadcast all year.
No. It's all you, Ed. Found straight back. Still wanted to. I mean, you are the staple voice of the Melbourne Aces. You've been here for every season.
The tired old voice, I think you meant to say. No, it's been great. Been a lot of fun and obviously a privilege to get to call these games and then the KT Wiz game next week as well.
Absolutely. Should be a good one. The KT Wiz currently training in Geelong. Sharp breaking ball. Locked him up. Strike 3. That was nasty. An emphatic start for Lee Sung-kyu.
Yeah, that was a special pitch. You freeze a hitter like Kennelly, you know that's a good pitch.
Looks like it buckled him a little bit again. Finding the front door right there. Get another look at it. It's going to start at his front hip and then glide across the inside corner.
Whew.
So 1 up, 1 down. Here's Alex Hall. Started behind the plate yesterday, back in the DH spot. Switch hitter. Batting from the left side, as you can see.
2 for 6 in the 2 games, but 3 strikeouts. Very unlike him. But, the weather plays a factor, and it's a lot of things that go into it.
Well, yesterday, too, it was interesting because, one, it was downpouring throughout the afternoon, right? The tarps were on the field for most of the morning and afternoon. Hitters count for Hall at 2 balls and no strikes. There were a couple times where they were taken off, then brought back on. And again, the priority was making sure the playing surface was safe for both sides to play, and particularly for Hanwha in their spring training. They're not trying to have their guys play on a potential field that might get them hurt. Here's the 2-0 now to Hall. 3-0, and then you get through that game, you get past the 5th inning, and you're like, all right, we're past that checkpoint. We finally surpassed what the game ended at on Friday, which was 4 innings, and then the rain starts to fall again. There were, in fact, 2 separate instances. 3-0 is down low ball 4. First base runner of the day for Australia. 1 on 1 down for Rickson Wingrove. And it was coming down pretty hard at points in time.
Yeah, there was a real worry there for a little while as Wingrove steps in. He's 3 for 5, also got on with a walk and brought in a run with a sacrifice fly. So having another solid international series, just a very good ball player.
So consistent. 2-run double yesterday was big at the time for Australia. takes a strike. Roped it down the right field line to push their lead to 5-2. Hanwha would then chip away and score 4 unanswered to win that game 6-5. Hall's stolen a base in this series. He takes his lead from first. Wingrove behind 0-2. Wingrove, a mainstay with the Adelaide Giants as well as this Australian national team. Was part of the series last year as well. Check to first, Hall back in safely.
Pretty good move there from Lee.
Another look at that strike called. And there was number 1, and there's the swing and miss for number 2. Wingrove looking to protect. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him well out in front of an off-speed pitch. He's looking good so far. Second strikeout for Lee Song-kyu.
Here's Robbie Perkins now, and another thing you don't hear very often, he hasn't had a hit in the 2 games, 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts, so he's due to break out.
Yeah, he pinch hit the 9th inning of yesterday's game after initially getting the night off. First pitch is down and away, ball 1. The game 1 went 0 for 3 before that game was eventually postponed. Strike called 1-1. One. 2-1. Good take. Casey Cook calling balls and strikes behind home plate tonight. Trent Thomas at first, Neil Douglas at second, and Josh Matavesi over at third. 2-1. Down and away. Hitters count for Robbie now at 3 balls and 1 strike.
Already get the feeling that strike zone might be a little tighter tonight than it was last night. It's a small sample size, Max, but just my observation.
Maybe would have gotten the call, too, if Park was able to squeeze it. Sometimes it could be a little bit hard to pick up. 3-1 is driven deep out to right field. Im is back at the track. It's off the base of the wall. Hall off to the races, gets the late stop sign. A double for Robbie Perkins, and Australia is getting things going. Second and third with 2 away.
Can we replay that part where I said he's due?
You have been Nostradamus this year, Ed. Ed Stradamus, we'll put it. What a good piece of hitting from Robbie Perkins right there, going the other way, putting a dent in the bottom of the wall and a deep part of this ballpark in right center as we get another look. And he kind of just flipped that off the wall right there, too, taking it exactly where it was pitched away from him.
And he was playing very shallow in right field, so didn't really have a chance to get there.
So that brings up Will Riley. Again, Hall at third, Perkins at second. First pitch, swing and a miss, 0-1. Riley was 0 for 2 in game 1. Had a good year with the Brisbane Bandits. Lee ready, the 0-1. Down low, count evens up. Looks like we've seen a changeup, a slider, and a fastball so far from Lee. And he showed pretty good command of all 3. 1-1. 2-1, and has gotten some whiff on the changeup as well. First base is open. Ulrich Boyorski on deck for Australia. 2-1. Out in front, just got a piece, 2-2.
Changed him up there, didn't he?
Absolutely. That was something we saw late in the game yesterday, too. A couple of the Hanwha relievers were showing some split offerings, change-ups as well, and Australia was well off balance.
Was it Kim Do-Bean, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Count even at 2.
Whew.
Down low, 3-2.
A little frustration there, body language, I think, from Lee. Wanted that one. It is low, though.
Long inning here for Lee. Here's the payoff. Swing and a miss, tied him up, got him for strike 3. Lee Sung-kyu works out of trouble, strikes out the side in the process as well. Top of the second on its way, just getting underway here in Melbourne, scoreless at Melbourne Ballpark.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Ublinds Australia's once-a-year stock take sale is on now. For 2 weeks only, all products are half price. Shutters, security, curtains, zip screens and all other products. Don't miss out.
There's a look at Lachlan Wells, today's starter for Team Australia, the brother of Alex Wells, who was lights out on Friday night, looking to follow the tone that he set. Connor McDonald, the starter between, was really good yesterday as well. Lachlan spent the last season in the Philadelphia Phillies organization as well as with the Adelaide Giants. Over 10 starts, a 3.17 ERA. The swing and miss was up there. 66 punch-outs over 54 innings of work. And Australia's flashed some good starting pitching so far this weekend, Ed.
And Wells, the year before, 2023-24, had an 0.94 ERA, which is one of the best marks of all time. So absolutely one of the stars of the ABL.
No doubt about that.
Now, speaking of a guy who's due, how about Sumo Jun? 0 for 5, 3 strikeouts.
0 for a day yesterday. That's taken for a strike, 0-1.
And he's the big signing, right? Big money guy coming over from the KT Wiz.
Big contract for him that he signed previously this offseason. As he sends this one high in the air, straight away left. Riley Knight having a dance with the wind, shading his eyes. Makes the catch. One away.
Hey, a little bit of an outfield shuffle. Knight normally in right, he goes to left. Boyarsky normally in right, he goes to center. And Kennelly, who started the series in center field, now in right.
That contract for Sim, by the way, 4 years, $5 billion KRW.
He's a billionaire.
That's right. We're in the presence of a billionaire.
I wonder if they say that.
Lee Won-seok takes up and
I have
away.
to ask him that.
That's true.
You know?
It's interesting. I mean, he is a billionaire by definition. It's about, what, 4 or 5 Australian million dollars?
4 years, $6 million.
2-0 down to count. Lachlan, the twin brother of Alex. We mentioned the two playing on Team Australia together. Quite a special moment for that family. Swing and a miss. 2-1 the count now here on Lee.
Imagine if they're on the same team, like in the ABL.
That would be lethal.
That would be unbelievable.
A 1-2 punch. Slashed foul.
And then they could switch it up. Like you could tell them that Alex is pitching, but Lachlan would come on and pitch. You know, like those movies
Lachlan
where they
would have to cut the hair. That's the only telling
That's
difference.
True, you're
yes.
right.
Well, it's interesting, too, when you look at just the accolades. Alex Wells, the ABL pitching champion this year. Lachlan was the Helms Award winner, the MVP last year. 1-2's up and away. 2-2. That was when he had the sub-1 ERA. I mean, one of the best pitching campaigns in ABL history.
Crazy.
Alex, a former big leaguer as well at that, too. Lachlan reached Double-A with the Phillies last year. So that's bounced straight back. Count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes still. Also spent a lot of time in the Minnesota Twins organization. Big rip right there from Lee Won-seok.
He's got a couple of hits in this, and of course that great play in center field.
That was a phenomenal catch, especially given the circumstances. Stays alive. Not too many times in a spring training exhibition game do you see a guy run at 110% into the wall. And there's cushion out there on those walls, but it's not a lot, especially when you're a big man running straight into it. Looked like he got the wind knocked out of him a bit, but did play the rest of the game and is back in today. 2-2 is roped down the line. Will it stay fair? No, it hooks foul. Just a little bit out in front, and it'll be a long walk back to the batter's box.
Yeah, hit really hard, but as you said, just had that direction that sent it foul. Saw that yesterday with Alex Hall.
Yes.
Had that long ball that thought might have been out of the ballpark, but had a little too much bend on it.
Wind is not swirling as much as it was yesterday.
Yesterday was nuts. It was swirling, then it was non-existent.
It was quite a scene. I'd never seen a baseball diamond where the flags in right were blowing out to the right and the flags in left were blowing out to the left. 2-2. This one charged up to the gap. Left center field. It's down and rolling to the wall. Able to keep it fair this time as he cruises into second. There's his first hit in an Eagles uniform. A double. Well, here's Moonhyun Bean, the third baseman now.
Moon's got a couple of hits and a couple of sparkling plays in the field that we alluded to even before this series started, having watched him last year where he logged a lot of time at second base for the Eagles.
First one from Wells. Check swing, and he went around. Strike 1, 0-1. For the Eagles, it was a slow start offensively this weekend. The 4-inning game, they were not able to pick up a run on Friday night, and then it took them deep into the game yesterday to score their first. But then ended up with the win, scoring 6. Didn't score a run yesterday until the 5th. Strike called, top of the zone, 0-2. A testament to these Australian pitchers, which have held them tight. We mentioned this is an opportunity for them to pitch in front of KBO and Major League scouts who are in attendance, and they've, I'm sure, raised some eyebrows. 0-2 to Moon. Swing and a miss. Blew it past him. Strike 3. Malcolm Wells with his first strikeout of the day.
Blew it past him. Great description, Alex. A lot of heat on that one.
Here's the catch that we talked about from Lee Won-suk in center field yesterday. Look at that. Right into the light and easy sign.
And it was not light nor easy.
Yes.
What a catch.
And he is okay. That's the most important thing. Here's Kwang Bean. First pitch is down low with the breaking ball, 1-0. We saw a couple really good catches from the aces this year. We actually talked with Chris Burke about one of them earlier today.
Robbing Max Durrington of a home run.
Yes, we were talking to Max just about his experience so far, and then Chris walked by. Robbed the homer here at Melbourne Ballpark. 1-0. Charges this out to center. Deep. Boyorski, though, the wind knocks it down, has to race in, dives, sticks with it, and makes the catch. Well, the wind is dancing today, and Boyorski able to match it right there. Raced back, adjusted in, and takes away a run. Let's get another look. Good contact off the bat of Mean.
Welcome to Melbourne Ballpark.
Yeah, right? Ulrich Boyorski. Welcome to center field as well for the first time this weekend. We get to the top of the second, no score here at Melbourne Ballpark.
Yeah, look at the crowd there that's having a good time. Going to hold it here as we get a look at the crowd. And been a fun weekend, Max. It really has been. This is an event that doesn't come around. Well, it comes around once a year, I guess, the way we've been doing it, and hopefully will continue to come around because it's great to see these guys. We don't get to see Team Australia here very often, all these guys together, and then, of course, the Hanwha Eagles, who have sort of made this their second home, if you will.
That's right. If you haven't been able to tune in over the first couple of games here, something we've discussed, and there's some Eagles fans in the ballpark, is this has been their spring training facility. You may have heard in the States, Major League Baseball teams train in either Arizona or Florida, the grapefruit and cactus leagues. Well, it was a similar case here for Hanwha, but instead of having all the KBO teams down here, they were kind of by themselves training here at Melbourne Ballpark. There's a shed that has indoor facilities for them, weight rooms, batting cages, bullpens, and so forth, then a couple of backfields as well. into foul territory over here, and that allowed them to get their work in every day, and then it's concluding with these 3 spring training games, and then they'll have a couple more exhibition games when they head back to Asia, and then opening day for them. Here's Ulrich Boyorski. Maybe he's caught his breath. First pitch is fouled straight back, 0-1.
We have seen so many tough plays with the wind here and the lights and things like that. So nice work by Boyorski to make that play.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. You know what was interesting about it, too? I'm sure in center he probably isn't hearing it as much, but the crowd jumped when that ball made contact off the bat of Juan. 0-2. Strike 3 called.
Nice
Fastball
pitch.
right over the heart of the plate, and Boyorski's down on 3 pitches. 4 strikeouts already for Lee. But one of the baseball cliches, the one hit right at you is sometimes the hardest to read. Plus the wind, plus the big swing and loud reaction as there's another look. First pitch to Briley Knight is down and in, ball 1. Then all of a sudden you have to race back to the dugout, get ready to go to face Lee Sung-kyu, who's flashed some good stuff so far. 1-0 Knight. Up and away, 2-0.
Knight's got a couple of hits in the series, including that big home run.
2-0. 3-0, well ahead here. Was hitless yesterday, but robbed of extra bases on that play in center from Won-Suk Lee, as that one's taken for a strike. Hitters count at 3-1. Lee working quickly. 3-1 is fouled straight back. Count now full at 3-2.
Yeah, he's battled back nicely here after 3 straight balls. Knight also, we talked about this, just got that ball player look. Just everything he does, the way he goes about it.
Outside ball 4.
So the inning has started exactly like the first inning, Max. A strikeout followed by a walk.
The second walk allowed by Lee as well. So we'll see if Australia can push something together here. They were able to take advantage of free passes yesterday. There were plenty. On the other side for Hanwha, it was really trying to take advantage of Team Australia errors last night. Team Australia committed 3, and they did a little bit, but probably left too many on that they would have liked as George Khalil digs in and takes a strike.
Hottest hitter in the ballpark. 2 for 2 with a home run and 2 walks. Hitting 500, hitting 1,000.
You'll take that, right? Home run out to left yesterday. 0-2. Caught up with him before the game. Had some friends and family watching him. Of course, grew up in the Melbourne area. A former ace as well. Spent the year with the Canberra Cavalry. But I'm sure a special moment for him to be able to put on a show in front of the friends and family. 0-2 is strike 3 called. Lee Sung-kyu has punched out every hitter he has retired. That's 5 now.
And so the inning now, it's exactly replicated, Max. Strikeout, walk, strikeout. So now we're due for a double. Liam Spence is due for a double the way Perkins doubled in the first.
Good spot and a good job of Park Sung-un, the catcher, to receive it too. You're right, maybe Liam Spence is due right here. It was 0 for 2 on Friday. Also pinch hit in yesterday's game. Reached out an error as he takes a strike 0-1. So it was 0 for 1 on Friday and 0 for 1 yesterday. Walked as well.
Yep.
Knight takes his lead from first. 0-1. Strike called 0-2. There's the breaking ball.
It's been really sharp other than the 2 batters he's walked.
0-2. Breaking ball charged on a line to left, spinning around his Lee. It's over his head and rolling to the wall. Knight going to get the wave. Now the stop sign. Into second with a double is Spence. Second and third, 2 away.
There we go. It's a mirror image of the first inning. How about that?
You got to love it. And Spence showing off some pop, again, against the wind that's blowing in. So who knows if it's blowing out, if that's got a chance to get out of here. Get another look. Maybe caught it a little bit towards the end of the bat, but still strong enough to get it over Lee's head.
Yeah, the outfield is playing pretty shallow. That's the second one that's sort of potentially could be playable had he been a bit deeper.
So here's the captain, Tim Kennelly now. Struck out looking in the first, but we'll get to see Lee for a second time. Knight at third, Spence at second, both with good speed. First pitch is fouled, straight back, 0-1.
Now this is where if you're Team Australia, you want that pattern to be broken, because Riley ended the first striking out after the Perkins double.
That's right. Australia has gotten on the board first in each of the first 2 games of this series. 0-2. Talked to Kennelly before the game if you weren't able to catch our pregame show, and he just spoke to the role he plays on this team, the most experienced and oldest player on this roster. And with a lot of new faces here making their senior national team debuts or getting one of their second or third opportunities, he's played a veteran leadership role in that locker room, and he's happy to see those guys get those opportunities. 0-2 is slashed away. Count still holds at no balls and 2 strikes.
They certainly learn a lot from this guy. Been around, done some great things in the States and in the ABO, and for Team Australia.
No doubt about that. Of course, the big homer on Friday night helped the Perth Heat get to the championship series this year. 0-2's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's another look at the Spence double. Good swing, staying on it. 1-2 on Kennelly. Chance for Australia to strike. 2-2. Alex Hall on deck. I'm just looking through some of the Alex Hall seasons with the Perth Heat. And, I mean, the numbers, the counting stats add up for themselves. The all-time leader in every offensive category, basically. 2-2 is outside, 3-2. If you go back to some of the seasons from even a decade ago, his second year, an OPS over 1,000, in a full year, a sturdy sample size. I mean, he was arguably the best Australian hitter on the planet at that time. 3-2. Down low, ball 4. Kennelly able to draw the walk, and the bases are loaded here with 2 down for Alex Hall.
Yeah, it's a really good at-bat. It's the kind of thing you expect from a veteran like Kennelly. Now Hall's got an opportunity to do some damage as we see a mound visit coming out.
Lee Sung Kyu at now 45 pitches through an inning and 2/3, and a lot of pitches now under pressure. Of course, all of these Hanwha arms have pitch counts and targets entering their outings throughout this weekend, and so we don't know what those targets are or what those limits might be, but it seems like he's going to stay in the game, and that's the case.
That's Yong Sung Moon, the pitching coach, I believe, coming out.
A little pep talk.
Yeah.
At least one more hitter, that's Alex Hall, who walked back in the first inning. It's now 3 walks allowed from Lee so far here today. One thing that has been reported about Lee is when he does give up free passes or maybe an error's made behind him, he does a good job bouncing back, staying composed within himself. This is one of those spots right here. First pitch to Hall's in the dirt, skips away from Park. Here comes Knight. He's in uncontested. For the 3rd straight night, Australia is the first on the board. It's 1-0.
Great awareness from Knight. His speed, his hustle comes down the line and opens up the scoring.
That'll be a wild pitch. All runners advance station to station. Kennelly to second and Spence to third as well. Now first base is open, but Rickson Wingrove, a daunting bat on deck as well. You do have to be careful with Hall. 1-0. 1-1. Another look. I think it was a breaking ball just overthrown. See the catcher Park trying to range over as far to his right as he could to stop it, but it glanced off him. 1-1. Down straight back, out in front, 1-2. Those are hard ones for the catcher as well, just when you're setting up outside and it's thrown the opposite way. There's that foul ball. Good swing from Hall. Look out back there. Good thing we got the netting, right?
Exactly.
1-2. Strike 3 called. Got him on the outside corner. A good spot from Lee. Works out of trouble, limiting the damage to just one run on the wild pitch. That brings across Riley Knight to score. Well, a run on a hit, no errors, 2 left as we head to the bottom of the second. Lachlan Wells out for his second frame. It's 1-0 Australia.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Back at Melbourne Ballpark, some fans enjoying the sunshine of the party deck. Still not warm enough for t-shirts, but got the hoodies on. That's okay. A flannel we see right there in the middle of your screen. 17 degrees Celsius here at Melbourne Ballpark. Feels like 13, so better than yesterday, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, what was it yesterday? Felt like 6 or
yeah,
something
1
like
point.
that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Australia leads 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Riley Knight coming around to score on a wild pitch. 5, 6, and 7 due up for Lachlan Wells. Lee Jean Young, the left fielder, to lead things off. First pitch is on the outside corner. Strike 1. Leo for 3 in the series. A 1. Skied out to center. Boyorski tested again. Shading his eyes. Can he find it? No, he can't. It drops in front of him. And safe at second is Lee Jean Young.
Boyorski really having some trouble out there, isn't he, with the sun? You could see him shielding, I think, a sun-wind combo. Pretty tough. And again, he's not used to playing center field. He's pretty much a right fielder.
Absolutely. We'll get another look here. And again, with the blue skies above, sometimes it's hard to see. You can see some clouds behind the batter's eye, but it's blue skies above for him, and there's not as much depth perception. Just playing it on a hop. So a double for Lee Jean Young, a sun doubles, and that sends up Choi In Ho, one of the heroes from yesterday. Takes a strike, 0-1. It was a majestic image seeing him hit that pinch hit homer through buckets of rain. It was incredible. It was out of a movie. Are we watching The Natural or something?
Expect the score of the lights to explode.
Yes, exactly. That's what it felt like with the rain. I mean, you just see all the shrapnel almost flying through your screen. 0-1. Perfectly located, 0-2.
Yeah, we weren't sure how he got that out.
I just have always felt, too, it's got to be hard to even focus with the rain streaming down in front of you. Or you have to just find a little white ball that can be coming at any speed, moving any direction. That time, breaking away from him, and he swings and misses for strike 3. Second strikeout for Wells. 1 down. Here's Im Jung Chan, the right fielder. He started at all 3 games this weekend.
He's having a nice series, 3 for 6, a walk.
Lee at second, first one. 0-1. 4 pitches, 4 strikes for Wells since that sun double. One grounded softly, sliding is Spence. He can't recover, but does keep it on the diamond. So it saves Lee from scoring, at least for now. And him safe on first on what I think would be ruled an infield single. Either way, runners at the corners with one away.
Yeah, tough play. You can see it here. It wasn't hit that hard, but just hit in a spot that made it tough for Spence to get to and pick up and make a play.
It is ruled a single, so here's Park Sung on the catcher now. Double play gets Wells out of it, but healthy fly ball likely does the trick. First one. Seared across the inner edge, 0-1.
Well, he reared back and fired that one, didn't he?
He's been filling up the strike zone since that double. And really, I mean, he was before too, but it has been working quickly and finding each corner of the zone. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Got him out in front, 0-2. Wells made 16 starts at the Double-A level this year. 3.55 ERA over 91 and a third of innings work. That's a really good level, really competitive level. Some of the best prospects in minor league baseball. 0-2. Runner goes, grounded, wide of third, and through and a left, a base hit. Lee scores, and we're tied at 1. An RBI single for Park Sung-un.
Little seeing eye single there. Found its way into left field. That's a big hit for Park.
He's now got a handful this weekend, his first RBI. And it extends the inning for Hwang Young Mook.
There's a look at that again. Again, not hit that hard, but could not have put it in a better spot between Khalil and Spence.
That's right. Khalil at third was about straight up. Spence, the shortstop, was up the middle in double play depth, so no chance for him. First one to Hwang. Loop down the left field line, slicing out of play, 0-1. You can hear the Eagles fans getting into it. They're excited. I see some bright orange jerseys right underneath us.
There are a few, and I saw a few of the new blue jerseys.
That's right, you were telling me that.
Couple people wearing those, the brand new Hanwha jersey.
They've been on sale here at Melbourne Ballpark, and I've been tempted. I really have. They're sharp. They've got bright orange, white, and navy blues. 0-1. Tapped softly. Wingrove will step on the bag and take the only out he can get. 3 unassisted. Park moves into second, Im into third. 2 away. Lineup flips over to Sim Woo-jun. The shortstop flew out to left to open the ball game, or to open the Eagles' offensive side of the ball game.
There's the Eagles orange jersey we were talking about.
Wearing that one like a cape right there. I love that. I've never seen that before. 0-1.
Sim still looking for his first hit of the series. The billionaire, as we call him.
Wells now approaching 30 pitches here through an inning and 2/3. 0-2, so his next pitch will be number 30. Lee Won-suk, who doubled on deck. Oh, 2. Up and away. 1-2 now the count. We'll see how long Wells goes into this game tonight. Connor McDonald went just about over 3. Got into a little bit of trouble in that 4th inning as well. And then Alex Wells went through 4. Probably could have thrown more if the game wasn't postponed. 1-2. Up and away. Count evens up.
Well, there are still some options. Obviously, Dan McGraw hasn't pitched. Matt Beatty hasn't pitched. Liam Doolin hasn't pitched. And then you've got guys that can go 1 or 2, right? Sam Holland, Kieran Hall, Townsend.
You could probably bring Townsend in again if you wanted.
Yeah, I think so.
2-2. Popped up on the infield. Spence over. Khalil backpedaling. Who's going to take it? It's Khalil in shallow left who grabs it to end the inning. Hanwha gets on the board for the first time tonight. The RBI single to left as you get a look at Sim Woo-jun popping out to end the inning. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 2 runners left as we head to the top of the third. Deadlocked at 1 here in the International Baseball Showdown.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Tied at 1 here at Melbourne Ballpark as the fans are all bundled up here. Got a shot of the overhang. Some fans also enjoying the sunshine down the first and third base sides. Got a good crowd once again here in Melbourne. What kind of snacks you feeling today? I'd go in the hamburger, the hot dog, nachos.
I went a hot dog earlier, so I sort of got my lunch out of the way, Max.
Very nice. Yeah, that's right. With the quick turnaround and all, there's a good jersey.
Yeah.
Well, let's take another look at some of the scoring plays so far. This is the wild pitch from Lee Sung-kyu that allowed Riley Knight to score from third base. There he is sliding in. That gave Australia a 1-0 lead to the top of the second. Here's a view from behind home plate as well. Just a curveball that Lee overthrew, and the catcher and Park couldn't stop it. Wixon Wingroves leads things off and slices it foul for strike 1, 0-1. Meanwhile, for Hanwha in the bottom of the second inning, they responded immediately. Park Sung-eung, the catcher, with an RBI single to left. Here's the shed. Newly brought to Melbourne Ballpark. 0-1. Count evens up. Mick Wern, a huge contributor. As we see a look, there's the RBI single from Park Sung-eun just past Liam Spence in the left field, who was playing at double play depth. But ever since I got here in November, Mick and Luke Searle and the rest of the crew were working on that shed, and they got it ready in time for the Hanwha Eagles spring training. 2-1s down low, 3-1 Stu as well, and all of them now have built something that future teams who play at this ballpark can use. The Melbourne Aces and any other events moving forward, and it's top of the line. It's really cool in there. We shot our pregame in there yesterday. 3-2 now.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And remember when we were out here when the Hanwha delegation came out to check it out, and they had tape measures out, and making sure everything was up to their specifications, which it was.
3-2. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string. Well, how about this? Lee Sung-kyu has retired 7 hitters. All 7 of them have struck out. He has given up some hits and walks in between. There's the changeup, and Wingrove was caught out in front. That brings up Robbie Perkins, who doubled. I remember my first day here was maybe the 2nd or 3rd week of October, and I remember walking in. It was a sunny day. My first day at the ballpark. Justin Huber was taking me around, introducing me to everybody. As Perkins takes down low, 1-0 the count. And when I met Mick, it was right where that shed is, but there was no shed. It was just mud, and they were digging.
Yes.
And getting everything going, and they're saying we're going to build this indoor training facility as Perkins hooks it foul.
That's going to hit. That's going to actually go over the shed.
Yeah, look out over there. Good thing. That shed is pretty sturdy over there.
Oh, yeah.
But they got it standing and all ready to go in just a matter of a couple months, and it looks so good in there. I'm very impressed. 2-1 now. I think both Hanwha and I'm sure these Team Australia players too, very impressed. I'm sure the Aces and KT Wiz will use it before the game.
Yep.
I think one of the key parts about it too is if it is raining, now you have an indoor facility where you can get your work in still. 2-1. 3-1.
Yeah, they got some batting nets in there, so yesterday when weather was a little bit inclement, they went in and did some hitting. Little weights in there as well. It's great.
Bullpens too.
5 mounds, I believe.
That'll do the trick. 3-1. Down low, ball 4. That's the 4th walk handed out from Lee this afternoon, and Robbie Perkins reaches for the 2nd time.
That is the 3rd consecutive inning, Max, that opened with a strikeout and a walk.
So now we're going to get strikeout then a double? Well, not yet, at least. Here's Kim Kyung-moon walking out to the mound right here. It's been a long couple of innings here for Lee Song-kyu. And excuse me, this might actually be a member of the coaching staff. We'll see. But either way, the day is done for Lee Song-kyu as we see a left-hander coming into the game for Hanwha. First reliever used by the Eagles. 1 on, 1 down. We'll introduce you to the southpaw after this break.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Little Gangnam Style going on at the ballpark. She's got the move. She's ready to go. Oh, yeah, that's as good as it gets right there. Well, we welcome you back to Melbourne Ballpark. We have our first reliever of the game, and it's a guy we're seeing for the 2nd time this weekend, Ed. Kim Ki-jung. First time we've seen Hanwha double up on a reliever.
Yeah, pitched in game 1, 2/3 of an inning. Got hit pretty bad. 3 hits, 3 runs, and walked 2 batters. So a real challenge for him here, wanting to show the Hanwha coaching staff that he can get the job done.
Will Riley digs in. First pitch is taken up and away 1-0. Robbie Perkins at first after the walk. And Lee Song-kyu still responsible for him. Well, there's one thing for sure. He was inducing the swing and miss. Went 2 1/3 of an innings work, so retired 7 hitters. All of them struck out. 1-0 is taken a little bit high, 2-0.
Pretty remarkable, isn't it?
You'll take that, right?
It's amazing.
Gave up a run on 2 hits. Did walk 4 batters as well, so I think that's something he'd like to have back too. But if you're just looking at pure stuff, it was working today, which I'm sure evaluators on the Hanwha side do like to see. 2-0. Strike called 2-1. Again, your basic stat line isn't particularly what the Hanwha front office is probably looking at. I'm sure if a guy goes 3 for 3 with a couple homers, yes, that's great. But if someone goes 0 for 4 and squares up 3 liners to center field, they're going to like that too. This is a lot more of seeing how they're looking.
Yeah.
2-2 now. And there are stats to go with that, exit velocities and so forth. Velocities on your pitches, the amount of inches of break and so forth, but
spin rate.
That's right.
I love that.
The new buzz stat, right?
I just love saying that.
You can spin it. 2-2 the count with 1 away on Will Riley. 3-2 now.
And they've got the Hanwha, believe me, they've got their analytics people. They had a couple guys down there purely doing analytics, stats, pumping them into the computers. They watch it.
That's right. Well, pitch design is such a huge part of the game now.
Absolutely.
You're behind if you're not using it. 3-2. There goes Perkins. The pitch swung on and missed. Park's throw is right on the money. Got him. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Welcome to the ball game, Kim Ki-sung. We head to the bottom half of the 3rd, tied at 1. It's the Hanwha Eagles and Team Australia back after this.
Minutes from the city, find yourself in a totally new landscape. You got rivers, forests, granite mountaintops, beaches, views like that. Mornington Peninsula, of course, breathtaking and enchanting. The Great Ocean Road I know you've been down there. The winding highway takes you to 12 Apostles. There's ancient indigenous rock art, rock climbing, bushwalking, hiking, whatever you want to do. Pretty much Victoria and the Melbourne vicinity has that. We love that shot there. Absolutely beautiful.
It's a beautiful area and a beautiful country, and I'm going to miss it. Make sure to get down here if you have the opportunity. It's absolutely phenomenal. And even though it's been chilly over the last couple of nights, for the most part, the last couple of months, it's been sunny and warm with some rain and fickle weather in between, but it's all worth it, I'll tell you that. Lachlan Wells out for his third inning of work. We'll get 2, 3, and 4 in the Hanwha lineup. All tied at 1 here in Game 3 of the International Baseball Showdown.
So Lee, Moon, and Kwon will be the hitters. Lee Won-suk doubled. Moon struck out, and Kwon flew out to center field.
Thank you so much for tuning in today and this entire weekend. Max Tanzer, Ed Wyatt here, along with our entire Sportscast Australia team. Here's the first pitch to Lee. Fastball taken up and away. 1-0. Lee's double, a shot into the gap in left center field. Queued up the first baseline. Wingrove plays back on it and will win the foot race. 1 away. 3 unassisted. Makes way to Moon Hyun Bin.
Easy play from Wingrove, who, as we mentioned, does have the big bat, but highly underrated as a fielder.
That's an easier play to look at, I'm sure, too, with the English that was on it. Moon Hyun Bin takes a swing and a miss, 0-1. I actually talked about it a little bit on a play during the Aces season, I remember, but I always go back to that Anthony Rizzo play in Game 5 of the World Series this past year with the Dodgers and Yankees. The Yankees had that lead, and then Garrett Cole doesn't cover first.
Yes.
Rizzo doesn't charge the ball aggressively, and the Dodgers come back and win it. All to the love of John Diebel, who picked up another World Series ring because of it. Of course, the Aces manager and a scout for the Dodgers. But the reason Rizzo didn't charge the ball, as this one's grounded over to second, Riley gobbles it up, throws over, 2 away, is because very much like that Wingrove play, because it was cued off the end of the bat, the hitter that time was Mookie Betts. It's spinning, so you don't know exactly where the ball is going to move. A lot of times on a routine grounder, it's hit straight at you, so you have an idea where it's going to land when it's at you. There's a look at that Riley play. But so he was staying back, Wingrove was staying back. The difference there was Lachlan Wells was covering the bag. Garrett Cole didn't. So there's a pitch outside to Kwang Min. (1-0). Popped up behind home plate. Robbie Perkins gives it a look, but it's out of play. Loud bang. The count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Got that metal overhang. It's always a loud sound as it hits off the top. So always wondered if there's any fans that camp out behind us, behind the home plate seats, waiting for balls to roll off. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Wells looking good in this inning here in the third.
You can always tell there's a fairly new crop of fans when you hear them react to balls hit, foul balls, and things like that, when normal Aces crowd is kind of used to it.
1-2. Fisted in the air, out of play, first base side. Is it going to stay in? Oh, off the very top of the party deck, and it bounces out of the stadium.
Oh, the guy was just ready to make the play, and it hit the roof.
That would have been a tough angle for him, too, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a couple of guys in that party deck today. They'll get another chance. 1-2 to Kwon. Down and away. County puts up at 2-2.
Those guys look like they could have made the play, Max. There's some nights here when you would know there's no way they'd be able to make the play.
Look at it. There they are on the top right of your screen. 2-2. Just got a piece and stays alive. It rolls up the netting. Crowd is really filled up here. Again, we weren't sure how many were going to end up coming today just because of the cold weather, but it's still quite sunny out. And I think for those sitting first and third base sides, it does feel warmer, of course, in the sun. 2-2. Bounce straight back. Count still holds.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure it's warmer?
It feels warmer. Oh, yeah. I don't know, actually. Might get colder.
You won't believe this, what my on-air partner said today. It gets hotter in the sun.
I've discovered something.
Sorry, Max.
No, it's all right. I'll be in the history books. 2-2's bounce straight back. Can't even tell.
This is our last broadcast together, so I'm going to probably stick the needle in a couple of times.
Yes, hey, do it. I got to go test it out myself now. Some scientific project. Still 2-2 here on Quan. Long at bat. Wells now just under 50 pitches. Strike 3 called. Throws him on the outer edge. Strikeout number 3 for Wells, and he's through 3 innings. Top of the 4th on its way, tied at 1 here at Melbourne Ballpark.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Top of the 4th inning here in Melbourne, and if you like what you're watching, why don't you play? Whether you're 7 years old or 76, played for 40 years, or you've never picked up a bat, the Australian baseball community welcomes you. Head to baseball.com.au and click on Club Finder. Type in your postcode and find a baseball club near you. The sport continues to grow, Ed.
Yep.
I know you grew up in the States, so baseball's kind of a staple for every kid to play Little League, but how'd you get into baseball? What was the start for you?
I just, growing up in Maryland, I started out as an Orioles fan and played Little League baseball, loved Little League, and a little bit of senior league ball after that. My high school back there, year 9, won the state title, so that was exciting. But, yeah, I just always loved it. Then when I moved west, lived in Seattle, sort of fell in love with the Mariners like you did, but...
Here's Ulrich Boyorski to lead things off as Kim comes out for his first full inning of work, entered the game for the starter Lee Sung Kyu. Back at the top of the 3rd inning, 1-0 the count on Ulrich. Same story for me too. Signing up for Little League and kind of just happened on its own as Boyorski pops it up, fell out of play. Kind of evens up at 1-1. But I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
I, for whatever reason, loathed baseball growing up, and my parents continued to sign me up. And when I was about 10 or 11 years old, something just changed, and I fell in love with it, and now it's my entire life.
That's funny, because normally you hear, don't push your kid, they'll drive him away. It had the opposite effect.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
1-1. Boyorski cracks in a line to left. Diving attempt from Lee. Did he make the catch? He did. Out number 1. Boyorski's holding at first base. I think he thinks that got down. And he will return now.
We'll have to have a look at that.
Third base umpire Josh Matavesi on the call, who held up the outside.
Not that we're going to be able to tell anything, Max, but we can give it a look.
Umpires might meet here, by the way. I think there's a chance that could have gotten down. Again, really tough to tell from that angle. They call it a trap, which is Lee diving for it and kind of picking it on that in-between hop and smothering it. It is a really hard call for any umpire. As you can see, there's the crew. Casey Cook, Trent Thomas, Neil Douglas, and Josh Matavesi meeting to discuss.
We see this in cricket sometimes, whether it's a catch or not, but obviously those broadcasts have tons of cameras and close-up things, and they have a review system.
We need some of that Australian Open technology.
Yeah. It's a tricky one.
Again, the only way I think it would get changed is if one of the other members of the crew
had seen it
and is confident 100%.
So it's the difference between out number 1 and a base hit for Boyorski. Let's get one more look here. Again, it's hard from this angle.
It is.
And they're now separating the umpires, and they're going to put him on first base. So they do overturn it, and I do agree. It does look like, as you can see, it hit just a little patch of grass, and he kind of picked it.
I do agree with that.
Dug it out with a shovel a little bit. So leadoff single for Boyorski. That's the third hit of the day for Australia. It makes way to Briley Knight.
And no protest from Eagles. Probably not worth it. If it were an actual game, perhaps you'd argue it, but
good work from this umpire crew. Knight walked back in the second and scored on the wild pitch. It's the only run of the day so far for Australia. I want to know the count.
Just the third hit of the game for Team Australia.
Look at this fastball. A little bit closer than he may have liked. 1-0 from Kim. Foul, 1-1. The one thing, though, I will say about my story about getting into baseball is it kind of relates to the whole play here in Australia sort of motive, is that just give it a shot. Try it. You never know if you'll like it or not, especially for a sport that's a little bit more foreign here, right? But it's really grown a ton. 1-1 is served out to left. Park tested again, make that lead. He reaches out to make the catch. One away.
He did catch that one.
You sure?
Yes.
Boyorski back to first. Here's another look at it. And this one a little bit easier. Just kind of poked it, but it hung up for him out there.
I mean, that's one where he's playing in, makes that play easier. We talked before about some of the ones that have gone over their head. If you're playing deeper, he may have struggled to get that.
So here's George Khalil, struck out looking in the second. First one. Skied out to right center field. Lee ranging over, so is the right fielder Im. It's Im who squeezes it, 2 away. And the Aces starting to put it in play a little more. They had struck out 8 times through the first 3 innings. Now the first 3 hitters here, the fourth, have been able to at least find some contact as we get another look at Khalil flying out.
There's Eam under that. Got those sunglasses on. May help, I'm sure.
It's one of those in-between days where 1 second the sun is shining and then another second the clouds are covering. As you can see, it's kind of that in-between look right now, partly cloudy as Liam Spence takes a strike.
But it's much sunnier now than it was when he made that catch.
And would you believe it? It's probably warmer down there now that they're in the sun. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Spence had that double over Lee's head in left field. That was his first hit of the series. Getting the start. Has appeared in all 3 games, but pinch hit in the 9th yesterday and reached on an error. He was at third base representing the tying run with nobody out in the 9th, but Australia couldn't bring him in. 0-2 is upstairs. Catcher in Park thought he had strike 3, instead 1 and 2.
So did a lot of the fans.
Top of the order on deck in Tim Kennelly. One, 2. Strike 3 called. Rosen with a heater on the inner edge, and Spence is down on strikes. That's the second strikeout for Kim on the day as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Tied at 1 here on Aces TV. Welcome back to Melbourne Ballpark. There's one of those bright orange Hanwha Eagles jerseys. Let's take a look at those uniforms. There they are on full display. Some of the new unis this year for the Hanwha Eagles. And, Ed, they look spectacular. There's the navy blues.
Yeah, it's the blue one we're talking about.
They really pop.
Yeah, they do. They look good. Orange is kind of the traditional one. They wore that last year. But yeah, it looks nice.
Orange is such a good color, too, because you can kind of pair it with any sort of dark color, and it's going to stand out no matter what.
It could be the year of the Eagle, right? Philadelphia Eagles?
That's right.
You never know. It could be an omen for the Hanwha Eagles.
Hey, we'll see. Again, similar kind of feel, too. Again, different colors completely, but I was talking with some guys the other day, and we were both noticing that, the Hanwha Eagles Eagle has an E in it, which I believe the Philadelphia Eagles Eagle does, too. I haven't said Eagle that many times in a sentence before. Lachlan Wells out for the bottom of the fourth inning. 5, 6, and 7 up for Hanwha as the first pitch is tapped in front of the plate by Lee Jean Young, picked up by Perkins. That's a good play. 2 to 3 put out, 1 down on 1 pitch for Wells.
That's a really nice play by Perkins and by Wells, recognizing the fact that it was an easier play for Perkins. Steps out of the way, lets the Canberra catcher grab it and fire it down to first.
So Wells now at just about 50 pitches here with 1 down to the fourth inning. In good shape. Choi In-ho digs in. Fresh off of that home run from yesterday's. Fastball's taken down and in 1-0. I think one of the most difficult things to do in sports is come off the bench and hit. For him to come off and hit a homer in a unique circumstance, a spring training game in another country where you're really playing for playing time. So he rolls this to the right side. Diving stop by Riley. Throw not in time. Troy beats it out. A good effort from the Australian second baseman either way. 1 out, 1 on for the Eagles.
Got to look at that again. Just kind of a tempting little roller out there. Tough spot to get to. Great effort from Riley. But just can't get it there in time. Good hustle by Choi down the line.
Initially, I didn't think he had a chance to get him, but then Choi started to kind of circle, do the banana route, thinking it was going to go to the outfield, like round the bag a little bit. First pitch to Im Jung Chan is upstairs 1-0, and then had to redirect himself to try and get to the bag.
Yep.
And it did cost him maybe a step or two, but he was still able to beat it out. Move to first base. Back in, it's Choi over there. Have yet to see a stolen base on either end. We did see Perkins try to run in the third inning, but that resulted in an inning-ending strike him out, throw him out double play for Hanwha. 1-0, tapped wide to first and through a vacant hole in the right for a base hit. Im Jung Chan with his second knock of the day, and this bottom of the Hanwha order has been productive. First and second, 1 away.
Yeah, Im is having a really nice series. Coming into it 3 for 6. Just added 2 more hits to that, so 5 for 8 if my math is right. That's pretty good.
Those back-to-back singles also break a stretch of 6 consecutive hitters retired from Lachlan Wells. Park Sung-un digs in. He singled in the first run and only run of the day so far for Hanwha with a single to left. Jumps on the first pitch and fouls it straight back. A healthy rip, to say the least, 0-1. They don't get cheated up there. Very Arturo Disla-esque, I feel like, sometimes. Arturo Disla, one of the Aces' key contributors the first half of the season. Texas Rangers product, excuse me. 0-1. Counting it's up, 1 ball and 1 strike. I mean, he threw the bat, meaning like he really let go of the bat probably 4 or 5 times this year. That's how hard he was swinging.
He did.
And multiple times he'd take a big rip and stumble down to the ground because he was swinging so hard. But when he made contact, that ball was leaving in a hurry. 2-1.
He was a big man and played the field at first really well. It was one of those things where you look at him and go, yep, get it. He's a big hitting first baseman who can't field very well. Fielded superbly.
He was very quick. I remember talking to John Diebel about it a little bit. He was telling me that Isla takes ground balls at third every day. That one's popped up on the infield. Infield fly rule in play as Riley steps under to make the catch. 2 outs. But he said he has really good hands, and he takes those ground balls at third even though he really is a first baseman, or at least was for the Aces. And a lot of times you can practice with your footwork, charging the ball, trying to pick it on an in-between hop. to get to it as soon as you can, and I'm sure that helped him from the agility standpoint. Park Sung-un, the catcher, digs it. Or, excuse me, he just popped out. Hwang Young-mook in with 2 on and 2 outs.
Still looking for his first hit of the series.
Buckled him a breaking ball just a bit upstairs, 1-0. Grounded out to first his last time up. One-0. Strike call to clip the outer edge, 1-1. Something we talked about a little bit with some of the umpires today was they are using the KBO baseball, which you got to wonder if that impacts the Australian pitchers at any form. 1-1. Down and away, 2-1. Makes sense that they're using them. Of course, Hanwha in their spring training are going to want to use the baseballs they'll use in the regular season. We were told they have shorter seams, meaning the seams are a little bit lower versus the baseballs they use in the ABL. They're a little bit thicker. And while it may not seem like a big deal, it does impact your grip. Look out, slashed foul. 2-2 the count. And an era of the game that is now almost defined by spin. Any little millimeter of seam that you can get or take away can impact so much, it seems. 2-2 the count with 2 away. Tied at 1. Pitch. Tap down the third base side. Foul.
Oh.
Count holds was going to be a tough play for Khalil.
I was just going to say that's a real break because that was going to be a really hard play because Hwang runs pretty well. I don't think he makes that play, I'll be honest with you.
And he's almost running out of the box as he hits it.
Yeah.
As you see right here.
Yep.
It's like an early step and just slaps it the other way.
So I would have taken him. Khalil's got a good arm, but throwing from third, but the way Hwang runs, I don't think so. So a break for Team Australia there.
Next pitch will be the 62nd for Wells and his 14th of the inning. Choi at second, Im at first. Hwang at the plate. 2-2. Up and away, 3-2, and now the runners get a head start.
Yeah, big pitch coming up here for Wells.
Runners go, the payoff. Tap to third, Khalil. Will have to throw across, slings it over, and dug out by Wingrove to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left for Hanwha as we head to the top of the 5th. Good work from Lachlan Wells. We're tied at 1.
Here we go, Max. There's that magnificent aerial shot of the Melbourne CBD. Got the Botanical Gardens on the right of your picture. There's the Arts Center with that spire. Flinders Street Station in the background. Really is one of the world's great cities. Obviously, we know about sport, but also art. The National Gallery of Victoria, of course, the NGV, Australia's oldest and largest gallery, home to an enormous collection of works by international and local artists. Of course, you've got a network of galleries throughout the city. Great place to spend a weekend, browse, and get a little, get a little culture, Max. Not just sport, a little bit of culture as well.
That's right. That was one of my favorite parts about my experience here, is just being able to walk down the streets and see something new every single day and try all kinds of different foods. That's something else I noticed. You can find Korean food, Japanese food, American food, Mexican food, Italian, whatever you were looking for, you could find it in Melbourne. And I'm sure for anyone who's on vacation or moving down here, that's nice to have somewhere where you can find that comfort food from home. Well, we head to the top of the 5th, and we have a new pitcher on the mound, Dong Hyung Bae, into the game. Third pitcher used from Hanwha today.
And Bae pitched in game 1 as well, Max. In fact, he followed up Kim Ki-jung there, pitched a third of an inning. So he's back out again. retired the only batter he faced in
Back to the
that
top of the
game.
order at the top of the fifth.
He's a
Scores tied,
26-year-old in his 4th year
Coming
with
to the bat,
the Eagles, we
leading off,
mentioned the other night.
14
Does
strike
not have a lot of
is Tim
KBO
Canelli.
experience, so more with Hanwha's minor league club, you would suspect.
Looking to build on it right here. 1, 2, and 3 in the Australia lineup to get things going. Tim Canelli to lead things off. So for 1 today, struck out looking and walked back in the second. First one is popped up in the shallow left. Back is Sim in his lead. Lead the left fielder. Can't make the catch. It's down. That wind is giving everybody fits today. And it's a single to lead off the 5th for Tim Canelli.
Those are the kind of things just would kill you as a pitcher, wouldn't it? It's a leadoff batter, got a real opportunity to get that first out, and it drops.
Could have been a first pitch out, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting the soft contact he was looking for. Now you have to deal with the rest of the top half of this Australian lineup, which is daunting to say the least. Here's Alex Hall. He's 0 for 1, walked, and then struck out looking. Curveball in for a strike, 0-1. So the day done for Kim Ki-song. Able to put a couple zeros on the board in relief of Hanwha starter Lee Song-kyu. Swing and a miss. Good fastball, 0-2. Something we talked about a little bit yesterday with the game finishing early in 4 innings on Friday. We were both curious how that impacted the pitching plans for Hanwha, but now they're bringing out guys for their second appearance of the weekend. 0-2 is tapped up the line and foul. Still holds. So hopefully that's a sign that they're in good shape and that they've seen a lot of the guys that they wanted to, if they're starting to repeat the cycle a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's good too, because you'd want multiple sample sizes to evaluate these guys, especially for the ones who are kind of on the cusp of potentially grabbing one of the final roster spots. 0-2 the count on Hall. Canelli at first. Swing and a miss. Fastball buzzed by him, 1 away. First strikeout for Dunk. By the way, already that's now 10 strikeouts from the Hanwha pitching staff. That's incredible. Only 1 down to the 5th inning.
Yeah, Lee had 7, Kim had 2, and now Bay with his first of the inning.
So 10 of the 13 batters that Hanwha has retired have punched out. Here's Rickson Wingrove. He struck out twice, looking to put the ball in play for the first time today.
Yeah, Lee really had his number, didn't he?
He did, but probably happy to see a new arm on the mound.
Just about to say that, yeah.
I haven't gotten a look at the shin guard this weekend. We mentioned with Adelaide this year, he, throughout the season, had kids signing it. First pitch. Popped up, third base side. Here's the wind again. Moon over, so's the catcher Park. It is just out of play. You can see Park trying to reach over. Hey, maybe without that second level of padding, he might have a chance at that.
Great point. Absolutely right. I think he may have had a shot at it. Those new pads there on atop the wall there used to be a lot lower, a little more dangerous, but that would have been an opportunity there, I think, earlier in the year for Park to make that play.
Not sure if you could see it on your screen at home, but on that play, the third baseman Boone took about 6 or 7 steps back. This one popped up. Moon gets another chance, but it's out of play, 0-2. And he sprinted almost onto the outfield grass, and then all of a sudden had to take a U-turn. And, of course, it was Park, the catcher, who was closer to it at that point. But that just shows you how hard it is to get a read today. We mentioned Boyorski has struggled in center. Lee Jean Young in left field had a tough time with that Canelli fly ball.
Yep.
0-2 count with 1 down. Canelli the go-ahead run at first base. Still 0-2.
Interesting to talk to, Chris Burke, Aaron Whitefield, Robbie Glendenning, if they were here today, whether it's people new to this ballpark or the wind is truly in a bizarre sort of scenario. I don't know. I just wonder if an Aces outfielder would know this better than some of these guys.
I'd have to imagine they're at least able to anticipate what it might be like, right? Because maybe it hasn't been exactly the same characteristics of today with the exact directions the winds have been swirling, but they know that they got to be ready for anything. That one's rolled foul, still 0-2. I mean, we were talking with Chris Burke and Max Sturrington earlier about the home run that Chris Burke robbed, and a big part of that was the wind was absolute jetting out to straightaway left, and Durrington poked it out that way, and Chris Burke was able to snatch it away from him and take away his first professional homer. But point being is Burke, an experienced left fielder in this ballpark, knows that he has to get back. He cannot afford to take that step in. As Wingrove sends it out to center. Here's the wind again.
Here we go.
Lee adjusts back in. Very poised on that play. 2 away. I mean, they always say to take your first step back, but I think a lot of times, too, which is what happened to Boyorski earlier, and even at Moon at third base on that pop-up foul, if you take too many steps back, then you're also putting yourselves in a really unadvantageous situation. Here's Robbie Perkins. He's 1 for 1, walked and doubled. First one. Down and in, 1-0. That double was his first hit of the series. Almost got it out to deep right center field. 1-0. 2-0. Canale can now go on contact here. Of course, 2 outs. Close spot, doesn't get the call, 3-0.
Just doesn't seem like any of these pitchers have been able to get into a rhythm. Like a couple of nice outs, a couple of strikeouts, then a walk, then a hit.
There's a curveball for a strike, 3-1. I agree, and I think pace has slowed down a little bit too, and a part of that could be it's their first outing in quite some time in a game, so maybe slowing things down. There's no pitch clock in play right now. There goes the runner, the pitch, down low, ball 4. So Canelli to second. Perkins draws the free pass, and Will Riley will step to the plate with another shot with a runner in scoring position.
Riley's been up 6 times, struck out 4 times, so really nice for him to get some contact here. Like you mentioned, had a super season in the ABL this year.
Big part of the Brisbane Bandits run late in the season as this has popped out to left. Lee, I don't know if he can find it. This might be trouble. He recovers. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. The ball caught him right there as he falls to the ground to end the inning. My goodness. That saves a run at the very least. Well, we're halfway through it here at Melbourne Ballpark. Let's get another look. You could see him shading his eyes with his hand right there. In the last second, it looked like almost a WWE takedown right there. As he kind of just reaches up, and there you go. What a play. Again, that's Lee Jun Young in left field. Well, we enter the bottom of the 5th, tied at 1. Lachlan Wells out for his 5th frame of work when we come back.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
There's a look at the Hanwha Eagles dugout, and it is a packed house over there. And I'll tell you what, they couldn't even get their entire staff in there. They're also throughout the ballpark, some attending in the seats as well. And you've mentioned it a couple times, Ed. They've brought their entire front office here, essentially. All the training staff, their chefs, their media team.
General manager.
Everyone's here.
The big cheese, he walks by and everyone kind of like ducks their head or runs away.
You said it. It looks like he could still play.
Oh, yeah. It looks great.
Sim Jun, the shortstop, will lead things off here for the Eagles. 1, 2, and 3 in their order as Lachlan Wells comes out for his 5th frame of work, and he's been very good so far today. Over 60 pitches for the Australian southpaw. 1-0. Top spin, past Khalil at third. That's a fair ball, rolling towards the corner. He's going to range in for 2. The throw, the tag in time. What a throw from Briley Knight.
He's done it again.
Sim Jun trying to stretch that into the double, and Briley Knight has thrown out his 3rd base runner of the weekend.
Doesn't matter what field he's in. He's got that cannon. And I think if we see this again, I think Sim gets in with a better slide. Let's just have a look.
Broke the bat.
He pushes it here. Here's Knight. Fields it cleanly. Throws. Now watch the slide. He's up pretty high. I think if he gets low, he may be able to sneak in. Doesn't matter. Great throw from Knight. 1 away.
First pitch to Lee Won-suk was a strike. The second is lifted out to left center field. Boyorski into the gap. So is Knight. It's Boyorski who lunges over and catches it for out number 2. So 2 quick outs now for Wells. Man, Briley Knight has had himself a weekend. The homer on Friday, and then 3 assists in the outfield. He's thrown out 1 at the plate, 1 at, no, I should say 2 at second and 1 at third. Not at the plate yet. Maybe we'll see that later in the series, but he has been so good.
Is that called throwing out the cycle?
Yeah, right?
He's been great.
He's got to throw someone out at first somehow. I've seen it happen before. Well, Moon Hyun Bean loops this over third. Khalil, it's over his head on a reach. 0-1.
Yeah, that's just a super play from Knight, who, as you mentioned, has been really good.
Definitely a guy you can expect to see competing with Australian national teams in the future, Son of Brooke Knight, the ABL Manager of the Year. Sydney Blue Sox, the number 1 seed going into the ABL playoffs.
You'd imagine growing up with him as your dad, you'd have a lot of baseball knowledge in addition to your ability. You know, I mean, he's a good player, but he's also a smart player and a guy that just knows the game.
Absolutely. He was great to talk to as well during that weekend. Strike called, 1-2. That was a really interesting Sydney team. There's a look at Cody Ponce, one of the 3 international players. They're going over change-up right there. Yeah. He was talking to us how much he's enjoyed getting to learn the Korean language. Strike 3 called, got him looking. Really good work from Lachlan Wells as he freezes Moon Hyun Bean to end the inning. Faces the minimum, no runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left. Top of the 6th on its way. Tied at 1.
Max, we talked about this a couple of times, those laneways in Victoria and Melbourne with collection of bars, galleries, boutiques. Some of them are hidden, some of them are easier to find. You've got some great restaurants, cafes, and of course that outstanding coffee that we know so well. Melbourne is the undisputed coffee capital of Australia, internationally known for its cafe culture and some of the beans being roasted. There's some great coffee roasters in Melbourne. Of course, more cafes and restaurants per capita than anywhere in the world.
It's been delicious, and I'm going to miss it. Had a coconut latte today, Ed.
Wow.
It was good. It was good. You know, I guess it's a combo that I think could work, but it's even better than you could ever imagine. I've gotten Melbourne coffee every single day since I've been here. Literally, every time I go to the train station, I think it's a Gloria Jeans at work, and they all know me by name now because I'm there getting some coffee every single morning.
Think they're going to have that kind of coffee in Florida? What do you think?
No, I don't think so. Not from my experience, at least.
You back to the 7-Eleven coffee?
I know people who love the 7-Eleven
I work
coffee.
with a guy who loves it, even in Melbourne, which is, the coffee capital of the world, arguably, and he loves 7-Eleven coffee.
Well, it's probably the best 7-Eleven coffee in the globe, right? It's got to be. As long as it gives you energy, that's all that matters. Plenty of coffee at the ballpark yesterday. That line was, I heard, incredibly long. Ulrich Boyorski leads things off and cuts through a looping breaking ball and one. Dong Hyun Bae out for another inning.
What do you think that was, about 50 miles an hour? 60? It was so
Looked like
slow.
an ephus, little wiffle ball. Those are harder to hit than the hard fastballs. I think so, at least. Skied, shallow right. Second baseman Huang backpedaling it. It spins to the first baseman, and Kwan who makes the catch. One away. Goodness, that wind is an animal today.
Every pop-up is an adventure. Kwan's been good over there at first from a fielding standpoint. We're talking about the blooping pitch. Remember, Rickson Wingrove had to pitch here because Adelaide was trying not to burn any pitchers, and we saw him after.
Right.
And I think I said something to him like, "You gonna pitch tomorrow or something?" I'm done.
Get him back out there for Team Australia. Why not? He did well. I think he only gave up one run.
I think you're right.
Riley Knight takes the strike.
We were laughing about that with Aaron Whitefield about how hard it is. I think Whitey had like 2 or 3 hits that night and then couldn't hit Rickson Wingrove.
It's unbelievable. I'm sure I'll be hearing about that next time they see each other. Rolled out to second off the bat tonight. Huang gathers and throws. 2 quick outs to begin the top of the 6th.
Much better outing for Bae Dong Hyun.
Absolutely.
I shouldn't say much better. He only pitched to 1 batter, but much more involved. You get to see a lot of him in this outing.
Getting some soft contact as here is George Khalil now. Pitch from Bae. Down low, 1-0.
All these games so different, which is sort of what you'd expect considering all the different players being shifted and all that, but they've all been really interesting in their own way.
A little unpredictable, too, just with all the different movements and substitutions. Swing and a miss. Big rip from Khalil, 1-1. We've seen shuffling every day with Team Australia lineup at that as well.
Yeah, and the weather's impacted it. Yeah, and you're right. I think unpredictable is probably a better word than interesting, but yeah.
1-1. Locked it in on the inner edge, 1-2.
He can really go from that fastball like that to that big, slow breaker.
And with those long deliveries, too, I think he can catch you off guard, slows you down, and then just rides one in underneath your hands. 1-2. Sliced foul. Count still holds. Liam Spence on deck for Australia. If Khalil could reach here. One, 2. Serve to right, a base hit. Khalil picks up his 3rd knock of the weekend. He's been having a really productive couple of days. 2 down and 1 on.
Yeah, that's a really nice hit. We got a pitching change.
So that'll be it for Bae Dong Hyun. Let's see, they're still chatting with home plate umpire Casey Cook, and it looks like we will see a pitching change.
Yeah, I see it. I saw the row. Yeah, there he goes.
So Liam Spence will be due up with 2 down and 1 on. Here's a look at the Khalil single. A really simplified piece of hitting. A pitch away from him and just pokes it.
Yep.
Through the 4-hole into right field for a base knock. Well, we'll step aside, tied at 1. Khalil, the go-ahead run over there, and a new arm in for Hanwha.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Back at Melbourne Ballpark is...
That's the LJ Tigers.
Look at that.
There we go.
And she's getting some footage of the second overall pick of the KBO draft. There's Hyunjin Ryu looking on at the future of the Hanwha Eagles pitching staff. That's right. Jong Woo-ju, the first-round draft pick for the Hanwha Eagles, into the game for his second outing in as many days. He literally pitched, just about 15 hours ago or so? Pitched a third of an inning, got into a little bit of trouble. You can see the 18-year-old taking a deep breath. And there it's a 2-out runner on first spot here for Liam Spence. And he has a really lively fastball, and this is a guy that the Hanwha Eagles are very fond of, excited to see moving forward. Spence doubled back in the second. First pitch from Woo-ju. Buzzes across the fastball, 0-1. Woo-ju translates to universe in English, and he could take over the KBO with the amount of prowess he has and potential. 0-1. 1-1. KBO do have minor league systems, and so it's not particularly sure if Woo-ju will make the big league club or start in the minors, but talking with some Eagles representatives, there is a chance for him to make the big league team. 2-1. So he has an opportunity, and these outings do mean something. Of course, when we talked to Kim Kyung-moon, the manager, he didn't want to put any extra pressure on him. Just wants him to get an opportunity here in a spot like this.
So you've got Ryu, you've got Ponce, you've got Weiss, maybe Jong.
2-1 is lifted to shallow
Tricky.
center. Back is Sim. Calls everybody off, and the shortstop makes the catch to end the inning. So good work from Jong Woo-ju, as that will send us to the bottom half of the sixth, tied at 1. It's been a tight one today here at Melbourne Ballpark.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Sun still shining bright as fans are bundled up. There's a t-shirt, though, right in the middle of your screen. He's enjoying that sunshine as we bring you back to Melbourne Ballpark. Bottom of the sixth inning here in the International Baseball Showdown. The KBO's Hanwha Eagles and Team Australia here. Final game of the three-game set. Look at those kiddos.
There's a young fan, couple of young fans.
Maybe first baseball game right there.
Girl with a ball. How good is that?
Fantastic stuff. Well, Lachlan Wells has been fantastic as well tonight. 5 innings of one-run ball and out for the sixth now. The Australian left-hander's first pitch is lined into right. That's down a hit. Is Lee Jin Young leads things off with a single for Hanwha. Excuse me, Choi In Ho, who's had himself a good couple of days.
Going to have to watch Wells very closely here. You mentioned he has been great, but coming out for his sixth inning of work.
First one is down low, 1-0.
So Quan Lee and Choi here in the 6th inning. These guys are a dangerous part of the order, Max.
First one, our next one, taken for a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. All right, let me start over here. Kwang Kwang Min with the leadoff single. Lee Jin Young at the plate.
And he's got a double, and then Choi has a single, and Eam with a single. So this is a dangerous part of the lineup.
Knight able to cut across, makes the catch, 1 away. Back to first is Quan. And here is Choi In-ho. Wells now at 75 pitches here in the 6th. This very well could be his last inning, but he has been cruising so far. He can go deep into games. Let's get another look at Riley Knight covering plenty of ground. Tap to short, could be 2. Spence shovels to second for 1. Riley's relay not in time. 6-4 fielder's choice. Quan retired. Choi safe at first base. We hit a little bit too high.
Yeah, just wasn't hit hard enough either. Good effort from Spence and Riley.
So 2 away now for Im Jung Chan, the right fielder.
Couple of hits today. He's had himself a heck of a series.
Season high for Wells, by the way, in innings pitched is 6 in the ABL season, which most recently was against these Aces on Im.
That was a wild series, that one.
Yeah, it was.
The big brawl.
Checked over to first
the
base.
The rain-delayed played game.
What a time that was. Well, that was Alex.
Yeah, yes, you're right.
And
My
then
bad.
Lachlan,
you're
the
right.
twin brother, well, hey,
of course.
can easily get them mixed up.
Yeah.
Lachlan spending his season in Adelaide after, of course, pitching for Sydney for 4 seasons, too. So he was a former Blue Sox in
That's right.
2020, 2015, 14, and 13 as well. Then returned to the league and won the Helms Award with the Giants in 23-24 as that one runs inside. Almost got a piece of him. 2-1. But that Sydney series also was a wild one. I mean, plenty of twists and turns.
Pretty much every Aces series was an adventure this past season.
I was going to say even the finale against Adelaide.
Of
my goodness. 2-1's down and away. 3-1. Who knows what we have in store with the KT Wiz Melbourne Aces game this Friday?
Well, I'll find out, man.
Make sure to catch the Aces TV broadcast Friday, 7 o'clock first pitch here at Melbourne Ballpark. Come out of the ballpark, too. 3-1. Chopped to Wingrove, who steps back, plays on the high hop, takes it to the bag, unassisted to end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a runner left. We head to the top of the 7th, all tied at 1 here at Melbourne Ballpark.
We're going to share the love around the ballpark today. We're looking for Cuddle Cam. You can see yourself on the screen. It's like YouTube, folks. We've got a big cuddle. There's a picture of ready. Ah, there we go. There's a beautiful cuddle right there. Lovely stuff. Big cuddle. Cuddle Cam. Oh, we'll do one heart can and see you better. Come on, folks. Do it. Cuddle Cam. See yourself. Beautiful stuff. That's the point. Always come to those things. Oh, they're already ready. They're waiting for it. Well done. Lovely company here.
Great scenes around the ballpark here. People enjoying a beautiful sunny day. No rain. Little bit of wind. Just a great vibe here at Melbourne Ballpark. A lot of Korean fans in the house, Hanwha fans, Aces fans, ABL fans, just plain baseball fans.
That's right, and a name to remember for baseball fans. Jung Woo-ju back out for his first full inning of work today, and it's been quite a unique 24 hours for him. Of course, the second overall pick in the KBO draft this past year, made his Eagles debut. Of course, spring training's not official KBO debut, but his Eagles debut in terms of wearing the uniform in a game. Tim Kennelly to lead it off. But Woo-ju is a starter. So that one's taken upstairs, 1-0 the count. And for both of his outings, he's had to come in a relieving spot, out of the bullpen, inheriting a situation with 2 outs. Yesterday struggled a bit, but was able to get out and retire Spence, the first batter he faced today. So now I think you could treat this like a normal start. You're coming out for your, let's just say, second inning of work, and you throw your warm-up pitches. Probably a little bit more routine for him. 2-0 the count on Kennelly.
So if he makes the starting rotation, you would have the Universe and Dejan Jesus.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is Ryan Weiss's nickname. That's a great starting. And Ponce and then Ryu.
That's right.
The Korean monster.
It's perfect.
That's a great lineup.
3-0. Strike called 3-1.
It's going to be fun to follow, I'll be honest with you, Max. I didn't necessarily have this feeling last year because it was sort of a new thing and we're just kind of wrapping our heads around the team. But now, we know the stories.
Taken down and away ball 4, a leadoff walk for Tim Kennelly.
We know the stories. We know that, a little bit of it, again, thanks to Jung-min Yu, our sort of researcher assistant. We've been able to kind of get some of the more info about the players than we might not have had last year. So I'm really excited to follow the journey of the Eagles this year once the KBO gets started.
100%, and they finished in 6th place or 7th place in the KBO last season, 66 in 76. I'm looking for a big jump. Here's Alex Hall. First one. Down and away. 1-0 the count. Close miss.
Very close.
We talked about it a couple nights ago, but when we sat down with Kim Kyung-moon, the manager for the Eagles, he mentioned that his promise when he took over the team in the middle of the year last year was to get the Eagles to the playoffs. He set high expectations from the get-go. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And then in our interview mentioned that he apologized to the fans for not living up to that expectation, but he expects that they'll be competing for that this year now. And after a couple of big free agent acquisitions, they're feeling good. There goes Kennelly, the pitch inside. Throw from Park is well wide on a hop to the second baseman, Huang. That was incredible that he got the ball out of his hand. He basically threw that behind Hall. 2-1 the count. Kennelly with the stolen base. That was acrobatic. Good thing Huang was ready to back it up.
Yes.
Here's another look at it. Good jump from Kennelly, and again, faded way arm side. 2-1 the Hall. Sizzled it in across the inner edge, 2-2. Hall's 0 for 2, struck out twice, walked in the first inning as well, was stranded. Two. Broken back grounder foul. Count still holds, and Hall will head to the dugout. Get a new piece of lumber after that one.
Yep. You could hear that distinctive crack of a broken bat.
There's a pretty cool shot of Hyunjin Ryu when Woo-ju came into the game. We got a good shot of it on our screen here of him watching on as Woo-ju was throwing his warm-up pitches. Woo-ju cited Ryu as one of the guys that has taken him under his wing so far the last month or so. Inside move to second, no one covering. He's also grown close with Kwon Min Kyu, the second-round draft pick, also out of high school for the Eagles this year. He started the game yesterday.
He looked really good. I was impressed with him probably more than anyone this weekend.
Me too. Ball stays alive. Count still holds. Long at bat here. Uju now just about 15 pitches. It is interesting. No days of rest for him. He threw a simulated game earlier this week. That was nothing too crazy. Just an inning or two of simulated work. But back-to-back days, a big jump for him here. 2-2 is in the dirt. What a stop by Park. Able to smother it. 3-2.
Park's another one I think has been very impressive, both at the bat and as a defensive catcher.
Well, he caught all 9 innings yesterday, too, through all that weather. A long game, 3.5 hours. I was surprised.
Agreed.
To see him back in the lineup in a day game, a quick turnaround. Payoff. Fouled straight back. Still 3-2.
There is I'll have to check into this and get my facts straight before I go too deep on this, but I do know there's a streaming app where you'll be able to watch the KBO worldwide. I was talking to someone about that, so I think they'll make their product available, which is great. Don't always see that.
I'll be watching. 3-2. Up and away ball 4. Really good app by Hall.
Sure was.
Back-to-back walks and back-to-back plate appearances. First and second, nobody out for Ricks and Wingrove.
What's your time zone will be a little different from mine.
Yes. Yes, is it a couple hours
I think
ahead?
I think a couple. I know Japan is. Yeah, that's where I get, the Japanese events, Grand Prix.
Right.
Singapore Grand Prix, those things normally in pretty good times for us.
Well, Ricks and Wingrove with a chance to give Australia the lead here. Big 2-run double yesterday. First one. Up and away, 1-0. And Australia's been mighty patient against Uju so far. And Park, the catcher, will walk out to the mound to have a conversation.
Yeah, it has been, I agree with you. That's been one of the things that's really stood out is the long at-bats, the patience. And I guess, a lot of these guys are veterans. They've been around, so they're going to give you those long, wily at-bats.
And for Uju, you can see the stuff. I mean, the fastball is electric. It's more so, how is the command going to play? Again, he's just 18 years old, so plenty of time to develop and get comfortable.
With a lecture out there on the mound.
Yes.
Just got to get him a cup of coffee. Get him a long,
line,
get him an iced Americano. That's what all they drink. Or iced long black, whatever you want to call it, the big South Korean coffee drink. But that was a long meeting. Could have solved world peace out there.
Hopefully you can get him back in the strike zone here. Kennelly at second, Hull at first. 1-0 on Wingrove. Popped out to left. Long way to go for Lee and left. Out is the shortstop Sim. It's down to both of their reaching. 1-1.
It's a long way to run for a foul pop-up.
The wind tugs it.
How far did Lee run or Sim run?
One of my favorite things with StatCast now on the MLB side of things is you can publicly track that information now. I mean, with the naked eye, I have no idea. Maybe 150 feet. Robbie Perkins on deck. 1-1. Up straight back, a mighty rip, 1-2. There's an Eagles jersey, a little bit of a throwback one. And look at some of the new ones here this season. Back with the whites today. 1-2. Breaking ball, froze him. Strike 3 called. Uju with his first strikeout in an Eagles uniform. 1 away.
Big strikeout. Very big for the kid.
And We're going to see it meeting at the mound second of the inning, so this will be a pitching change here for Hanwha. Uju's day is done. Walks a couple, picks up the strikeout. We'll tell you all about the new hurler for Hanwha when we come back. Tied at 1. It'll be Robbie Perkins due up with a chance to give Australia the lead.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Back at Melbourne Ballpark, and the new hurler for the Eagles is Kim So-hyun. Looking to get out of trouble for Uju Jong, the second overall pick in last year's draft, a first and second spot with one away.
Saw him the other night. Pitched, actually it was yesterday. Pitched just to one batter. Gave up a hit and a couple of runs. 20-year-old right-hander in his third season with Hanwha.
Robbie Perkins has had a blemishless day so far. A double and 2 walks. And now a chance to give Australia the lead here. Something they haven't said since the second inning when Briley Knight scored on that wild pitch, but immediately after, Park Sung-ung sent an RBI single to left to tie it up, and here we are. Just 3 innings to go. Kennelly at second and Hall at first. First one. Slings it in for a strike, 0-1. Grounded sharply up the middle and through, a base hit. Kennelly getting the wave. The throw to the plate, cut off. The Australians take the lead right back. Robbie Perkins checks in with an RBI knock.
Just what you expect from a couple of veterans. Perkins with a shot up the middle. Good hustle and speed from Kennelly as well. Not running like a 37-year-old at all, Max, or a 38-year-old.
And even with that double clutch, he probably scores. Either way. Well, the inning's still going here for Australia. Here's Will Riley. First one from Kim. Check swing fouled straight back, 0-1. Well, as we mentioned, that's Australia's first lead since the second inning now. And Hanwha now with 9 outs to work with in this game. We mentioned for Hanwha, it's more about getting the guys reps, but for Team Australia to come out of this with a series win 2-3 would, I'm sure, feel really good. Outside and high, 1-1, especially just a confidence builder moving into future international tournaments, especially for some of the younger guys on the squad who are getting their real first taste of the senior team, too. One. Buried down low, 2-1. On top of that, deservingly, Lachlan Wells in line for the win if Team Australia can hold on to this lead. 6 innings of 1-run ball for him. We'll see if he comes back out for the 7th again. Both sides are using the shed out and left as a bullpen, so we can't see into it. But
especially in a day game. It's too dark in there to see.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Tied him up. 2-2. Well, it's a season high in innings. Is 6, which he did so a handful of times in the ABL season.
It'd be an interesting call to see what they go with. I would suspect they'd try someone else, but who knows?
Count even at 2. Kim ready. Pitch. Up and away, 3-2. That fastball's got plenty of life on it. It's like some carry as well. Riley looking to break out in a big way. Pick up his first hit of the weekend. Hall takes a walking lead from second. Perkins at first not being held on. Payoff. Loop foul. Still 3-2. Kim working at a fairly slow pace. Taking his time up there.
That's another good at-bat from a Team Australia player, this time Riley.
I think one thing to note, too, for these Hanwha arms, we said it a little bit yesterday, but probably not as sharp as they would be in the middle of the KVO season. This is some of their first outings of the year. So command is not particularly as crisp as you would expect. 3-2. Up and away, ball 4, and another walk. That's the third of the inning from this Team Australia offense. And the bases are loaded with one down for Ulrich Boyorski. What a great plate appearance from Will Riley.
Yeah, nice job from Riley there.
So Boyorski has a chance to really blow this one open here.
Especially with Riley, young guy trying to make an impact, and he hasn't had a hit yet. So, you know, it would have been an easy one for him to just sort of swing away trying to get a hit, but he worked that walk really well.
Riley at first, Perkins at second, Hall at third. One run already in. First one from Kim. Finds the outer edge, strike one. Boyorski singled in the fourth inning. ABL Team of the Year outfielder. Corners in, middle back. 0-1.
Oh.
Yanked a breaking ball. 1-1. Good stop from Park. Double play, of course, would get Hanwha out of the inning. Still trailing by 1, but Boyorski runs well. Would be tough to double up. Anything elevated with the win probably gives Australia a chance to add on. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. Frisbee's outside. 1-2. Riley Knight would hit next. Well, it was Uju Jung who started this inning, walked a couple, did strike out one, but now Kim into the game has struggled to find the zone. 1-2's rolled foul. Boyorski stays alive. Boyorski, a part of the Premier 12 team, homered in that tournament back in November, so missed week 1 of the ABL season, but still put together another tremendous campaign for the Perth Heat. 1-2. Fisted, shallow right. This could be trouble. In is in. Back is Huang. Huang makes the over-the-shoulder sliding grab. Hall wasn't tagging from third. So the base is still loaded with 2 down, and a really good play from Huang Young Mook.
That's a really super play in this wind and the sun. We've had people make this really struggle with basic pop-ups. That was far from basic.
Look at how far he had to go. It's a really tough angle, too.
Yeah, nice job.
Much easier said than done. So infield can play back now with 2 down. Here's Briley Knight. Did a really good series. First pitch is grounded up the middle to short. Sim, tricky hop, throw across in time to get Knight by a step.
Oh.
Kim able to limit the damage to 1, leaves the bases loaded as we head to the bottom half of the 7th. Time to stretch here in Melbourne. It's 2-1 Australia.
There's a shot of Melbourne. A couple of balloons. Amy Park, MCG. Beautiful sports precinct. One of the best in the world, really. Melbourne Cricket Ground, home to big cricket tests. Australian rules football. There it is, magnificent stadium. Of course, the Australian Open tennis held in that very same precinct. That's become one of the world's great events. There is the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Seen a lot of unbelievable events, including the T20 World Cup there. Cricket, so come for the big events here and stay for the restaurants, arts, live music, bars, fashion, fun, you name it. Of course, that fun includes Melbourne Ballpark. Make that part of your trip to Australia if you're coming down here. Team Australia with a 2-1 lead over the Hanwha Eagles here. And we are going to see a new pitcher for Australia. And I think he's got some family and friends in the house. It's Liam Doolin, 26-year-old who pitched for Sydney this year. Was 1-0 with a 2.57 ERA. Was with the Dodgers for a while, Class A. And then pitched in Quebec last year. Has 97-mile-an-hour fastball as well. So can really bring the heat here. So he'll replace Alex Wells, or Lachlan Wells, excuse me. Get the Wells brothers confused again. My apologies. Went 6 innings, gave up 7 hits and only 1 run, and struck out 4. So Liam Doolin comes on, and he will face Park Huang, and then the top of the order in Sim U Jun. 2-1 lead for Team Australia here in the bottom of the 7th inning, in what is a fairly slow-moving ball game. We're looking at already 2 hours and 15 minutes. Last night's game was fairly long as well, too. Here's Park Song-un, the catcher, singled and popped up. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Made some big plays behind the plate as well.
Getting ready to go in the bottom of the 7th. The first pitch is down and away, ball 1. So Hanwha looking to bounce back here. And again, they had plenty of late life in yesterday's game. In fact, we're trailing by 1 at this point yesterday. Rolled to Khalil underneath his glove and in left. That's going to get a runner in scoring position. The tying run early on to open up this 7th inning.
Have to wait and see how that scored, Max, but I have to think George Khalil would have made that play. Got to admit, he's not a natural third baseman. Has played there before, but played pretty much all year for Canberra at shortstop. It's a little weird little chopper there. Went for the backhand, but it got by him.
That's one of those tricky in-between hops where you kind of have to make that decision early on, and it just scooted underneath his glove.
Looks like they've ruled that a hit.
So then that would be a double.
I apologize. Just went up as an error.
An E5. So Park Sung-un, the tying run at second. Corners in, and Huang shows bunt, pulls back, and takes a strike. This was something the Eagles did yesterday. Again, even though it is a spring training game, they're still simulating these late game situations. They have not been afraid to show bunt. Again, practice in these moments where you have to execute. 0-1. Snap through to second. The throw and tag. Not in time. Good idea by Perkins behind the plate, though.
Great idea.
So Doolin will look to get out of trouble here. Let's get another look. And we'll look at it in a moment. Doolin getting ready to pitch. There's the throw back to the bag, and plenty of time. Time now granted to Perkins. So Lachlan Wells finishes his day 6 innings, 1 run. So the Wells twins combined to go 10 innings, 4 for Alex, 6 for Lachlan. 1 run allowed. Talk about a family presence in Team Australia.
Absolutely.
2-1 now.
Any other ones around? Any other Wells brothers?
You never know. There's about 4 or 5 Kennellys, right?
Yeah.
Two-1. Strike called. Clipped the top of the zone. Huang didn't like it. 2-2.
Did not like it.
Top of the order on deck, and Sim Ujun.
Taking a long time out of the batter's box after that call. Tough one.
Count even at 2 here. Doolin fires. Slashed out of play. Count still holds. Last time the national team was on the field all at once together was the Premier 12 tournament in November. We've alluded to it a couple times. They went 1-5. 2-2 is slashed foul. Count still holds. Their one win was against the Dominican Republic. They did play Korea as well. They did not win that one. Lost 5-2. 10 players from that tournament team are on this roster here for the International Baseball Showdown. 2-2. Down low. Really good take from Huang. 3-2.
You hear the crowd ooh and ah on that one.
He's fun to watch up there, Huang. Squatting down. You mentioned it, taking his time outside the box after disagreeing with the call. Likes to jump and spin after big hacks. Grounded to the right side. Over is Riley. It's past him and through. That's going to probably tie the game, and it will. Parks scores standing up. 2-2 in the bottom of the 7th.
Is that his first hit of the series?
Yes,
it is. Yeah. Great time to deliver it.
A 5-hopper through the 4-hole. A long way to go for Riley, too, who is pinched up the middle. Of course, the second baseman for Australia. A run unearned, by the way, on Doolin.
Now, I believe we may have a pinch hitter here. Am I
believe
right?
so, too. Showing bunt, first pitch is fouled straight back, 0-1. It is Lee Do-Yoon, who came into the game for Sim yesterday as well. So he'll take over at shortstop. Also saw him at third base yesterday. There was another look. 0-1 is poured in for a strike, 0-2. So here we go, Ed. Are you ready? We're going to get all these substitutions.
Yeah, get ready.
Lee Won-seok is still on deck, so he'll remain in the game, it looks like.
Yep. Lee Do-Yoon 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout prior to this.
0-2. Rounded softly, going to be tough to turn to.
Oh!
Wingrove will get the lead runner, though. What a play.
Oh, what a play by the big man.
Ranging well off the bag, and that's a heads-up play, knowing that the second baseman, Riley, was back. Cuts it off as soon as he can and makes a good throw, trailing the front runner. 3-6 fielder's choice play.
Just have a look at this. I thought it was going to get through, I'll be honest with you. Not hit that hard, but watch this backhanded scoop.
Speared it. He's athletic over there. Here's Lee Won-seok, as mentioned, rolls foul. 0-1. Doubled back in the first inning as 0 for 2 since.
Like I said, Wingrove's got that deceptive look. You know, he just looks like a big, burly first baseman. But
Talked about it with Diesla, too. Yeah.
Yeah, his fielding is just superb.
0-1. Down and away. 1-1.
Look, that's one of the better plays you'll see. Not spectacular, but just tremendous.
And it keeps the runner out of scoring position. A lot of times
important.
You see that ball bounce back. Second baseman Riley would take it. There goes the runner. Pitch is swung on and missed. To the backstop it goes. 1-2 the count. Perkins with the snap throw again. Right in between the legs of Lee, the runner, but knocked down by Riley. But a lot of times you see the first baseman stay back to cover, and they'll give up the runner advancing into scoring position for the out. Let's get another look. This was a unique sequence, to say the least. It was a wide turnaround first from Lee, and then Perkins with his head up decided to throw behind him, but Lee got back in. Go ahead, run in scoring position now. 1-2. Down low, this one skips away. And Lee Do-yoon into third, uncontested. Go ahead, run 90 feet away now for Hanwha. And Lee Won-seok at the plate with a chance to give the Eagles the lead. Infield in for Australia, 2-2. Grounded up the middle, stabbed by Doolin, and they're going to have a play at the plate. Lee in a rundown. Perkins snaps it back to Khalil. He'll run him towards Doolin. Instead applies the tag for the second out. Lee Won-seok on the play into second, and that's a big play. Doolin with his head up, able to start that rundown. That was 1-2-5 on the fielder's choice. Still tied at 2.
Yeah, great stuff. I was just about to say Doolin needs to just worry about getting this batter out, nothing more than that. Well, he didn't do that, but he cut off the lead runner. Great play.
Look at a little spin and throw. At first I was a little worried that Perkins' throw was a little early.
I had the same thought.
Because then you have Khalil running him towards the plate, but instead they're able to force Lee back, and then Khalil applies the tag. Here's Moon Hyun Bean. Takes his pitch upstairs 1-0. Chopped to first. Wingrove on an in-between hop. He's been shining with the leather today. Takes it to the bag by himself to end the inning. Hanwha pushes across 1 run on the Hwang Young Mook RBI single, but aside from that, strand a runner as we head to the top of the 8th, tied at 1. Welcome back to Melbourne Ballpark. A beautiful day for baseball. Let's take a look at a beautiful play as well. Let's bring you your play of the game, brought to you by Aces Sporting Club. Just moments ago, Liam Doolin with the go-ahead run at third stabs it and is able to start a rundown. That was pinch runner Lee Do-yoon representing the go-ahead run for Hanwha, and George Khalil able to apply the tag all by himself to get Australia out of the inning. Again, your play of the game brought to you by Aces Sporting Club, a premium golf practice facility based in Altona, right here out of Melbourne. They host birthdays, engagements, key milestones, and more. For more info, visit acessportingclub.com.au. Back out for another inning of work is right-hander Kim So-hyun.
And you mentioned Lee Do-yoon, who was thrown out in that rundown. He has stayed on and is playing shortstop, taking over for Sim Oh-jun.
George Khalil to lead things off. Fittingly, swings and misses for strike one. Quickly 0-2. So each time Australia has tacked across a run, Hanwha has responded immediately in the bottom half of the inning, both in the second and in the seventh. Despite some lengthy innings and a lot of walks, pitching has led the way. Khalil skies this on the infield. Let's see how the wind takes care of this one. Second baseman Huang. He's got it measured, one away. Khalil retired for the third time today. Liam Spence will dig in.
Seems as if people are getting a little more comfortable with the wind and the sun at the moment.
It's still blowing hard. In from left. As Spence shows bunt, pulls back, ball one. You could even see, though, on that play, Huang had his back facing the first base grandstand. It's almost like trying to back himself against the wind. 1-0. Outside 2-0. Hitters count for Spence. Top of the order, and Tim Kennelly on deck. Down and away, 3-0 now. Well, there's been plenty of walks in this game. Even in that seventh where Australia pushed across a run, they drew 3.
I've got 8 on the day. You got 8?
I do too.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Not what you're particularly looking for, but we mentioned Hanwha pitchers might be a little rusty in terms of command.
Indeed, yeah.
There's a strike, 3-1.
Conversely, no walks for Australian pitchers, Wells and Doolan.
Filling up the zone, and Lachlan Wells, as you can imagine, understandably in mid-season form. 3-1. Popped up.
Here we go.
Here we go again. First baseman and Kwan running a mile, so is Park. It's Kwan. Watch out for the bat. Makes the catch. 2 away. Oh, my goodness.
Long way to run. I'll rescind that statement about getting more comfortable. To be honest, he made the play, but yeah, it's just kind of a crapshoot, isn't it?
I'm not envious of Park Sung-un, the catcher, who was being tugged around on a rope right there. Look at him. Moving back and forth, but the first baseman, Kwang Min, able to bail him out, making that catch. 2 quick outs now. Here's Tim Kennelly. First one is just a little bit low, 1-0.
It is an adventure every time it goes skyward.
2-0. It's a scary feeling when you're just staring up at the sky and you see the ball hit its apex and you still don't know where it's going to land. Just kind of have to stick with it. And you got 5 other guys trying to do the same thing. Hitters count for Kennelly, who singled back in the 5th. He's also walked twice, stole a bag as well, and scored a run. 2-0. Strike called, 2-1.
The crowd on that one, oohing and awing. That's quite a pitch.
Some zip on the fastball. Here's the 2-1. Down low, 3-1. Park trying to get the call, but to no avail.
Now they're looking for his 3rd free pass here.
Will be the 9th of the game from Hanwha pitching. Oh, look out. Ruled foul.
Oh, almost. Took out somebody down there along the line.
That is a theme. There's plenty of Hanwha players who have just been hanging out outside the dugout. That railing only goes so far. And we mentioned there's so many guys in there, and they all trying to get a front row look. Just got to keep your head on a swivel. 3-2. Grounded up the middle, cutting across his Lee. It knocks off of him. Tricky hop. I'm not sure what that hit. Either way, Kennelly safe at first. Let's get another look at it. It seemed like he swiped his glove a little bit, and then it must have hit maybe the cut of that dirt cutout. I'm not sure. Here it is. Maybe just cued off the end of the bat.
Oh, it did look like it took a big hop, didn't it?
Meeting at the mound, and they're going to keep him in the game, at least for now. And he'll get at least one more hitter in Alex Hall. Here's one more look at it.
Did have a weird little spin on it, I will say, but there's a big hop.
Yeah, got him up near the shoulder area, it looked like. So they haven't put an error up on the board, so they ruled that a hit, I believe so.
I think it's a hit, yeah.
First pitch to Hall, fouled straight back. 0-1.
Yeah, it could be that, you're right, that sort of area where the dirt meets the artificial turf. Could be a bit of that.
A 1. Inside, count evens up. Hall's walked twice, has also struck out twice. One. Driven high in the air, deep right field. In front of the track. The wind knocks it down, makes the catch. Inning over. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a runner left. Still tied. This time 2-2 as we head to the bottom of the 8th of the International Baseball Showdown.
Volunteers that are Melbourne games and also big games like this, they're volunteers together. Help you to your seats, do whatever you need done here at the ballpark, and at the end of the game, they also clean up the venue as well to make it easier on them, but they will want the help from you.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Back at Melbourne Ballpark, as you can see on the screen, Matthew Beattie into the game for the first time this weekend. Spent the year with the Canberra Cavalry. Also a former Melbourne Ace.
He was, in fact, left the Aces mid-season to join Canberra. They're getting some selfies, some pictures. I guess it's not a selfie if you're not taking it. Social media post.
Last game of the International Baseball Showdown. And again, if you weren't able to make it out this weekend or just hungry for more baseball, one more game. Next Friday, the KBO's KT Wiz will take on the Melbourne Aces here at Melbourne Ballpark. 7 o'clock p.m. first pitch. Aces TV will have the coverage as well. And then after that, the quote-unquote off-season begins. So it's your last chance to see the Aces and baseball here at Melbourne Ballpark until the 2025-26 ABL season. Well, Matt Beattie ends up throwing his final warm-up pitches here as we're ready to resume play in the bottom of the 8th inning. Both teams trading runs in the 2nd and the 7th, and now here we are. Again, likely will be no extra innings today if it remains tied after 9. Beattie, 26 years old, grew up here in Melbourne. 12 outings for the Cavalry this year, a 4.57 ERA over 21 2/3. First pitch is outside, ball 1.
This is Kwang Min, and looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter on deck, Choi Jun Sa, who is a 6th round draft pick. So another youngster.
Seeing them all this weekend. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Kwon singled back in the 6th inning, was stranded. Down low, 2-1. Beatty's represented Team Australia plenty of times as you get a look at the temperatures on your screen. Strike called 2-2. Also pitched for Australia in the Asia Professional Baseball Championships, U18 World Cup, U23 World Cup. It's also in the Detroit Tigers organization. 2-2 is topped on the ground as second on a couple of hops. There's Riley. Throws over just in time to get Kwan. 1 up, 1 down for Beatty.
Here comes your pinch hitter, Max. As I mentioned, Choi Jun-sa.
So he's getting his first at-bat in a Hanwha uniform. 2025 6th-round pick. So we've seen this weekend the 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 6th-round picks for Hanwha. First one from Beatty. He swings at the first pitch, lines it to left. Over his 90, lays out. It's off his glove and rolling towards the corner. Sa ranging for 2. He's in there. Jumps on the first pitch he sees. Doubles. How about that for the young kid?
That's well hit. Tough play for Knight over there. We'll get a look at it again. Choi, one of those rookies, comes from the college system, played infield in high school, switched to outfielder in college, so a little bit older than the other rookies we've seen, but still a rookie, and that's a great way to start your Hanwha career.
Here's Choi In-ho now. First one from Beatty, chopped up the middle, off his glove. Spence on the in-between hop, throws across his body. What a play. 2 away, Choi to third. 1 to 6 to 3 put out. That's a tricky one.
Whew.
Had to switch directions and then make the throw against his momentum. Im Jung Chan, first pitch is inside, 1-0. So Beatty looking to work out of trouble and put a 0 on the board. At the top of the 9th, Australia will send up 3, 4, and 5 in their order. Wingrove, Perkins, and Riley. 1-0. 1-1. In the dirt. What a stop by Perkins. Holds Choi over at third base.
Yeah, that was.
That was a 55-foot breaking ball. It's a hard one to stop.
It is, yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
Infield back here with 2 away. Hanwha looking for more late inning life. 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Big rip from him.
Love the walk away after they swing and miss. Kind of seems like a thing, you know?
It's very theatrical.
Yeah, it's there's like the walk, spin, turn, step.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him at the back foot. Strike 3. Matt Beatty works out of trouble. Strands the go-ahead run at third base. To the top of the 9th we go. Tied at 2 here in the rubber match of the International Baseball Showdown.
Blinds Australia's once-a-year stock take sale is on now for 2 weeks only. All products are half price. Shutters, security, curtains, zip screens and all other products. Don't miss out.
Top of the ninth inning here at Melbourne Ballpark. Tied at 2. Team Australia taking on the Hanwha Eagles. And again, we probably won't get extra innings today. So this very likely is the last chance for Australia to try and take the lead here. We got a new pitcher on the mound for Hanwha.
Yeah, it's Kim Do-Bean. We saw him the other night, yesterday, in fact, through one inning, struck out all 3 batters he faced. In fact, that was the 9th inning when he came in and got Hall and pinch hitters Perkins and Riley. All 3 of them struck out.
He looked really good. That was...
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting they're going with him again here. Is sort of maybe they see him as sort of a closer, perhaps, and that's why they're giving him another chance. Is what he did yesterday. 9th
inning chance.
Yeah.
Right. Aside from that E6, was able to strike out the next 3 batters.
Yeah.
So Wingrove will lead things off. He was actually slotted to face Kim in that 9th inning, but was pinch hit for. First one. Old foul over the dugout, 0-1. As we mentioned, Wingrove, Perkins, and Riley. Perkins did face Kim yesterday, was one of those pinch hitters.
Yeah. As did Riley. They both were pinch hitters.
So get another chance.
There we go.
Second time around effect, right? 0-1. Up and away, count evens up. Wingrove entered today 3 for 6 in the series, looking for his first hit of the day so far. He's struck out 3 times. 1-1. 2-1.
Saw some fans here chatting with him earlier. He'd been to all 3 games.
Look at that.
Gotta love it.
Were they from Korea or were they from
No,
this area?
Aussie fans.
Good for them.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you're traveling down from Korea, I mean, you got to go to all 3
No,
games.
no, they're local. And they had great, they were bummed out about the Friday game, but they understood there was no negativity. Said we'll be back tomorrow and Sunday.
And look at that.
And there
Treated
they
to
are.
A couple good games.
3-1.
Rounded to first, smothered by Kwan. 1 away.
He's been pretty solid down there at first.
He has. Makes way to Robbie Perkins, who's had such a strong day so far. 2 walks, 2 hits, a double, and an RBI single in the 7th that had given Australia the lead. Now even more important as it keeps this game tied. To the bottom of the 9th, the Eagles will send up 8, 9, and 1 in their order.
Interesting to see what they'll go with, whether they'll throw in a couple pinch hitters or go with Park and Kwan.
Nothing like potentially walking off a spring training game, huh? Got to be careful with that potential celebration. Australia would like to avoid that today. 1-0 is fouled straight back, rattles up between the lights and then back under the netting.
That almost came through.
1-1. And then it just gently rolls down the netting like it's on a slide. Count even here on Perkins. Dangerous back. 1-1. Up and in. 2-1. Lined out to left center field. Lee is over. It hangs up. 2 away.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that one, but managed to just hold up.
And that's actually Choi out there who came into the game. Another look at it right here. So 2 down. And Will Riley digs in. He's 0 for 3. Also walked back in that 7th inning. First one from Kim. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
Good pitch.
Riley worked a really long plate appearance in that trip to the plate in the 7th. Extended that inning and then set up a bases loaded 1-out spot, but then Hwang Young-mook made a really nice sliding play, and Riley Knight grounded out to short to end that inning. Kept to the 2-1 lead that has now moved to a 2-2 tie. Next pitch misses upstairs, 1-1. Well, if we have a tie, then the series will finish tied. It would be one win for each, and then half a win and half a loss for each two. What do you go then? Runs scored against each other, I guess? Australia would have the advantage. Up and away 2-1.
Coin toss?
Yeah, put him in a hat. Something Justin Huber has talked to us about is the goal is, maybe one day get as many KBO teams, maybe MPB teams down here, and I don't want to say make it a tournament, but get them all competing against each other, and that would be so fun. Almost like a cactus league.
How good would that be?
Grapefruit league environment.
The latte league.
The latte league.
What do you think?
I love it.
The Magic League. That's the drink here in Melbourne. They make the Magic.
I haven't tried it.
Coffee. Oh, you got to try one tomorrow. I know you're leaving. Just order a Magic when you go in there.
2-2. Strike three called. Got him looking.
Beauty.
That'll end the inning for Kim, who sits down the side. 1, 2, 3. Well, the Hanwha Eagles get one last chance to hit, and if they push across the run, they walk it off before they head back home. New pitcher to the game for Australia. We'll tell you all about him after this.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking, and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
And we're back here at Melbourne Ballpark, bottom of the ninth inning, tied at 2. It's the Hanwha Eagles and Team Australia in the International Baseball Showdown. Appreciate you tuning in with us all weekend long. Max Tanzer here alongside Ed Wyatt and the rest of our Sportscast Australia crew. Now, from our understanding, there won't be extra innings today. Again, we haven't gotten that officially confirmed, but after talking with some people before the series, the thought was if it gets to that point, there wouldn't be extras just because Hanwha, again, has strict schedules with the amount of pitchers they're using and so forth. But, at least for now, they could still walk it off talking about the Eagles. They'll be facing Team Australia's Dan McGraw, former Melbourne ace. Spent this season with the Adelaide Giants as well.
So when you thought we might see some pinch hitters, and here's the first one. It won't be Park. It will be Ha-In So.
First pitch is cued foul. 0-1.
We saw him in Game 1 behind the plate.
That's right. Went 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Of course, that game shortened with rain. Next pitch is outside. Count evens up at 1-1. Another pinch hitter on deck, Kim Tae-yun, in the spot of Hwang Young-mook. Fisted softly left side, back hit by Spence. Long throw, not in time. Ha beats it out, and the winning run's aboard for Hanwha.
Now, I'm wondering if they're going to bunt him over.
Got a pinch runner, too.
Yeah, that would be sort of the way most Korean teams would play this, you would suspect.
Good old number 112, that's Lee Sung-hyun over at first base.
He's the 8th round draft pick, so now we've seen him.
Gotta love it. Well, he represents the winning run, and you called it at immediately. Kim is showing bunt, and he's picked up.
Oh!
Talking about Sung at first base. McGraw with a good move, and Spence is going to run him back for out number one.
Wow.
Heads-up play by Team Australia against Sung, a development player, into the game for speed. And
oh, boy.
An unfortunate...
He'll get a little coaching, I suspect, Max.
That's a really good move by McGraw, too, so you have to give him credit as well, kind of that 45-degree angle move where he's flirting a little bit with what obviously is disguised as a move to the plate. So the first pitch officially on the way now to Kim is taken outside 1-0. So no bunt on and the base is empty.
Wow.
1-0. Down and away 2-0. Lee Do-yoon on deck.
How'd you score that last one? Or did you?
I have yet to do it, but we're going to go single.
Yes.
And then picked off.
Yep.
3-0 now to Kim. Strike called all the way, 3-1.
That's incredible. As a manager, that would drive you crazy.
It's a tough spot for the youngster.
Agreed.
Lofted, left center field, long run for a night. The wind knocks it down, 2 away. Lee Sung-hyun, who was picked off, 22 years old.
I mean, it doesn't matter in the big picture of this game, but, you know, you've gone from a runner on, potentially bunting him to second, to suddenly you've got 2 outs, and you've only got 1 more.
And a pitch wasn't even thrown.
And the pitch wasn't even thrown.
Han Ji-eun to pinch hit for Lee Do-yoon. First pitch is fouled straight back, 0-1.
Of course, he delivered the big hit yesterday, the game winner.
Absolutely.
Han Ji-eun, the youngster.
So you have to stick with us to see what the ruling is on if this game does finish 2-2 after the 9th. Again, our understanding is there wouldn't be extra innings, but you never know. If I'm just thinking from all angles here, potentially Hanwha with the shortened 4-inning game maybe would want to take advantage of another inning to see another arm. But also at the same time, you don't want to potentially risk any further injury. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Well, McGraw, a strike away from a scoreless 9th to keep this game tied.
True.
1-2. Up and away. Can't even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two. Down low, 3-2. Lee Won-seok on deck. There's another look, a good stop from Perkins. Or there's the fastball up and away. Here's the 3-2 now. Down low, ball 4, so the winning run aboard once again here for Hanwha. And Lee Won-seok will get an opportunity, and we might see a pinch hitter as Moon is out of the dugout.
We're going to see a pinch runner.
That's what we're going to see.
Pressure's on him now. Don't get picked off.
Don't get picked.
See who that is. Kim Kon. We saw him play yesterday.
So he takes first base. Lee Won-seok could play hero here. Swing and a miss. He was trying to 0-1.
See, the other thing is with all the changes that they made, would those work in the field if they were playing a 10th?
Right.
I'm just not sure.
And you do have a big practice roster, so it's possible you
Yeah.
can manipulate it. Oh, and he's picked off again. That'll end the 9th inning. My goodness. Dan McGraw picks off 2 runners. What a move from the Aussie southpaw. My goodness.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that.
2 pinch runners.
Yeah,
might we add.
exactly. 2 pinch runners picked off.
And Khan was just buckled at first base. Look at him, frozen as the snap throw got him to end the inning. And the Hanwha Eagles are currently coming out of the third base dugout, so it appears that will be it for this ball game. Ends in a 2-2 tie. The Eagles lining up on the third base side. Looks like giving a thank you to all the fans who came today. I'll tell you what, Ed, it was a pleasure getting to watch them over the last month and over these last 3 games as they take a bow and tip their caps.
Great.
A classy move.
Great scenes here. Funny way to end a game. Of course, we're not used to it in the ABL or MLB, right? But they do have ties in Japanese and Korean baseball. After an extra inning or 2, normally, a game can end in a tie.
And then Team Australia tipping their caps and showing their respect to their fans again. This is a special moment for Team Australia to play in front of their home country.
It is. Absolutely right.
Well, again, a 2-2 final, so the series ends in a 2-2 ties. Let's take a look at our game highlights. Again, we go way back to Lee Sung-kyu, the right-hander who got the start, and he started this game striking out every batter he retired. I mean, it was unbelievable. 8 strikeouts through 3 innings. Robbie Perkins then in the first, despite through all those strikeouts, sends a double to right center field, which put Australia in a good spot, albeit with 2 away. Set up a runner at second and third situation as he just missed a homer to the opposite field. Good throw back into the diamond. And then Liam Spence in the second, still scoreless, sends this rocket over the head of Lee in left field. That would be a 2-out double and set things up for Tim Kennelly, who would then draw the walk. Bases were loaded with 2 away for Alex Hall and Lee. Spikes a breaking ball, which forced the first run of the day in for Australia. Briley Knight scored on a wild pitch. Later in the inning, Ulrich Boyorski can't find this fly ball. It was a sunny day, hard to pick up. Allowed a runner to get to second, and then Park Sung-un, the catcher, sends an RBI single to left field. That would tie the game at 1, and that was the theme. Look at that bat snapping as it made contact with his shoulder. You don't see that often. Later in the game, top of the 7th, Robbie Perkins to the plate, and he chops a grounder right through the box into center for a base hit, and the Australian catcher comes up clutch to give them a 2-1 lead. However, this ball scoots underneath the glove of George Khalil, which sets up a situation here for Hanwha, where they're able to push across an opportunity to try and tie this game. Again, Wicks and Ringrove really good today. And then a play at the plate right here with Liam Doolin on the mound.
Couple of great plays.
Kept the game tied. Before that, it was an RBI single from Hwang Young-mook that tied the game. Tied at 2 still in the top of the 8th. Here's all these pop-ups. The wind was a factor today as well. Hwang able to make that catch. And then Liam Spence to the dish in a hitter's count. Sends this one high in the air. Take a look at the catcher in Park Sung-un.
I got it. No, you got it.
That was Juan, the first baseman, who made the play. And then Liam Spence tosses over to retire that 8th inning. And then this ground ball up the middle. A nice play as well, and a backhanded play by Spence. Either way, game finishes tied at 2 apiece. So Team Australia takes Game 1 5-0 in 4 innings. Hanwha takes Game 2 6-5 in 9 innings. And then we have a 2-2 tie in Game 3 today. So the International Baseball Showdown ends in a draw here in 2025.
Kind of appropriate, I'll be honest. Both teams trying to get something out of this game, something very different out of this game. As we mentioned, Hanwha sort of getting their season underway. Team Australia sort of finished through an ABL season, but kind of coming together as a national team. And as you said, not just camaraderie and chemistry, but blooding some of those youngsters who are going to be a big part of this team going forward. So for me, other than the rain-affected Friday night, a pretty successful 3-game set.
Absolutely. Good crowds, too. And after Team Australia was swept last year, they were incredibly competitive in this one. The bats were swinging it super well. Well, it's my last broadcast here of the season on Aces TV.
We need to thank some people before we get teary and finish up the thing here, but we do need to thank Justin Huber and Brett Ralph and all the people at the Melbourne Aces for helping us do this broadcast. Sportscast Australia, who've been great all season long. Jungmin Yu, we've mentioned her 100 times, but the help she gave us in researching these Korean players was just phenomenal. We wouldn't be able to bring this broadcast to the level that we hope to get it to without her assistance. So that's been really great.
A future career in baseball for her.
Hopefully. And then the Hanwha crew as well. And you've been around them more than I have. I kind of came in Friday and got into the swing of things. But they've just been super professional, super helpful, and willing to give us pretty much everything we needed.
Absolutely. And again, a huge thank you to all the Sportscast Australia crew, Andrew and Matt McLeish, Brendan Jones. I mean, we can name them all. They were fantastic this year. No, I'm just seeing this note. That's very sweet as well. I mean, they put so much work in for us. We've said it a couple of times this year. But one, they're covering all different sports during the weekend, and they have long commutes to get over here to Melbourne Ballpark. Go home at night, come back for what was 4-game series during the ABL season, a 3-game series here, and are super creative, always super flexible with us, and are super talented at what they do. And they're the reason why our broadcast looks so good and so professional. It's absolutely the best broadcast team I've ever worked with, and I can't thank them enough. They've been fantastic.
It's a lot of fun. And Max, I just want to say again, without sort of getting corny and all that, I remember when Justin Huber said to me, we got this young kid, Max, he's really keen to come on. We have a Zoom with him. What do you think? Second, I heard your reel. I knew you were going to be great. We had a really good relationship, and it's been so much fun. Whether or not you come back next year, I hope you do, but I'm going to follow your career. It's going to be great.
Thank you. Same to you, Ed. Again, you're a wonderful mentor, and you are such an integral part of this organization, and you are incredibly fun to work with.
Thank you, man.
Exude some of the best energy I've ever worked with in baseball. And
Thank you.
It's incredible, and I'm going to miss it. But still got a game next week.
Yes.
And Ed will be on the call.
I will be.
And it will be on Aces TV. KT Wiz. Yes, that's right. Still have him for one more week. The KBO's KT Wiz will take on the Melbourne Aces next Friday, 7 p.m. at Melbourne Ballpark.
Yep.
Make sure to tune in. It should be a good one. For everyone that tuned in, whether you're an ABL fan, Team Australia fan, Hanwha Eagles fan, or just a baseball fan, thank you so much for tuning in this weekend, this entire season. It was a pleasure to share my love for baseball with all of you around the country and around the world. Well, make sure to catch Ed. I will be in the middle of my night for the KT Wiz Melbourne Aces matchup at 7 p.m. local time. For the rest of our Sportscast Australia crew, we thank you so much and wish you a great rest of your weekend.
This broadcast is powered by Sportscast Australia. This broadcast is powered by Sportscast Australia.